520-9990. Here's the song.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140.
Feeding your passion for local sports in the afternoon. It's the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper on your radio at 1140 a.m.
Streaming audio at sacktownsports.com and the Sacktown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sacktown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper.
All right, Jay, I'm kind of in a bad mood, big fella. I'm in a bad mood. This is the Drive Guys. Drapes and Whitey, and Jay behind the boards. According to our contracts, Monday through Friday, 2 to 6, we come here to the studio, we do the show. For the second straight day, my boy Kevin Gleason is not here. I'm upset, Jay. My contract calls for 4 hours with a co-host and a producer. Not by myself, big fella.
Man, you better not start
I'm just saying. I don't know what's going on with Whitey. He taking the time off. I know he's sick, not feeling well and everything. But damn.
Man, we don't do this when you get out here. No.
But here's the problem. Here's the thing, Jay.
What's up, man?
It's like trading for Anthony Davis. You know he going to load manage. You already know coming in what Drapes is about. I'm used to Whitey being. Dog, it's like Whitey played 82 games a season for 10 years straight. All of a sudden, he giving me 55 games, 60 games. This ain't what I signed up for, Jay.
Man, you better stop.
No, I'm messing around. It's the Drive Guys here. Drapes and Jay. Kevin Whitey Gleason out again.
Did you just call? So are you AD of the station now?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm AD. It's like, you know who I am? I'm De'Aaron Fox. I go to San Antonio to be carried by Wemby.
Okay.
Not the other way around.
All right.
I come here to work with you guys so you can carry me. So I got 4 hours to fill you. All right. I'm saying.
I'm going to clip that, man. You ain't LeBron no more, man. You the AD of the station.
I'd heard y'all call me street clothes before. I'm just trying to live up to it, man. Hey, no, seriously, though, thanks for joining us here on The Drive, guys. We do hope Kevin Whitey Gleason gets better. Over the next 4 hours, plenty of basketball talk. Obviously, OKC moving on to the finals with that 124-94 win yesterday over the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Timberwolves laid over like dogs. Let me start right there. They laid over like dogs yesterday. Julius Randle, first quarter, 3 points, 3 turnovers? You only score 7 or 9 points in the first quarter. Anthony Edwards supposed to be the face of the league, and you get run out the building in an elimination game? They were softer than wet Charmin, Minnesota was yesterday. Give OKC a lot of credit. They did what they were supposed to do. They came in with the right mindset, and now, led by SGA, they're going back to the NBA Finals for the first time since 2012, back when they had KD, Russ, and Westbrook. We'll talk about that coming up in a minute. We also got a full day of guests here on The Drive, guys. Coming up at 3:30, our guy Damon Hack, NBC Golf Channel. A lot of people might remember him from his time at the Sacramento Bee as well. He'll be joining us to talk a little golf. We'll talk about the Niners as well with him. He covered the Knicks before, too, so we're going to get into a lot with him coming up at 3:30. Coming up at 4:30, James Donaldson. That's right. The legend. Who was it? Last year, Jay, he got inducted into the
Sacramento Hall of Fame.
Sacramento Hall of Fame.
Sports Hall of Fame.
Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame. So he's going to be joining us as we kick off our summer sermons segment. Don't want to miss that. And then our guy, Lim Adams, Sac State wide receiver coach, quality control coach. He's joining us at 5:30. So we got a lot to get to. We'll talk some Oakland. I was going to say Oakland A's. Jay is still doing it. I can still say that.
And they've been there longer than they've been West Sacramento.
That's true. We'll talk the A's coming up at 3:00. Damon Amendolara had a scathing take that I thought was really interesting. I'll have that coming up for you at 3:00. But first, let's dive in, Jay, to what we saw last night. And I mentioned how I felt like Minnesota laid over like dogs. They were wet toilet paper, wet tissue paper. But I'm also give a lot of credit to OKC. This is a team. This is a franchise that it's taken them a while. Remember, they had the NBA Finals in 2012. Hadn't been back since. But they have built this thing the right way, and they have built it not to be a flash in the pan. This could be the first of many trips to the NBA Finals for Oklahoma City. And I'll tell you why. And we'll talk about how it impacts the Kings coming up in just a little bit. But when you look at Oklahoma City and their roster, youngest team in the association, let's just start right there. But then when you look at their payroll over the next couple of seasons, and I got it right here. First of all, they got Shea locked up. And they could extend him as well. He's locked up for at least the next 2 seasons. Isaiah Hartenstein is locked up for next season and a team option, which I'm sure they'll pick up. So he's locked in. Lou Dort, next season, 25-26, and then a team option. So he's locked up. Isaiah Joe, he's locked up. Chet Holmgren, they're going to extend. He's still on his rookie deal. They're going to pay Chet Holmgren. They're going to lock him up. Alex Caruso. They got Alex Caruso locked up for the next 4 seasons.
Damn.
That's what I'm saying.
4?
Yes. J-Dub. Didn't he just sign an extension? He's locked up. So what I'm saying is Oklahoma City, and let's not forget the number 12 overall pick, Nikola Topic, he hasn't even played the game. He's coming. And Jay, they got 2 first-rounders this year. They got 2 first-rounders next year.
2 of them.
This team is built for now and for the next decade and maybe even further. The Oklahoma City Thunder, ladies and gentlemen, get used to, hey, if you want to call Shea being a foul merchant, well, I tell you what, get used to it because he ain't going nowhere. They're going to be on all the national networks. They're going to be on ESPN, Amazon, NBC. The Oklahoma City Thunder have arrived. And we saw it coming last year. We saw it coming a couple of years ago. And they're going to be a problem, obviously, for the entire league, but for the Western Conference. What they did last night to Minnesota, they unpantsed Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is a tremendous player, Jay. Big fan of Anthony Edwards. And I know he's taking some flack and some heat for saying, last night's loss and being eliminated doesn't hurt. But from a basketball standpoint, this dude is legit. But look what they did to one of the faces of the game. People are saying this guy could be the face of the NBA. Guess what Oklahoma City did to him in this series? Pulling up the numbers right now. Game 1, 18 points. Game 2, 32. Game 3, 30. 16 and then 19 in a closeout game. In a 5-game series, Anthony Edwards, the so-called face of the association, pulling up the numbers right here, Jay. Shot from the field, 47%, but 28% from three-point range.
Struggle.
He averaged 23 points per game in this series. You know the great ones, Jay? They usually go upwards in scoring. When the lights are the brightest, they step up. You look at Jokic's numbers. You look at Anthony Edwards' numbers. This Oklahoma City team has a way of making your star player look less than superstar status. And what's scary to me is that they aren't going anywhere. 916-339-1140. Jay, to me, they are just getting started. And I know we've kind of anointed some other teams. We thought Boston was going to make a run, Denver. These dudes, they don't have to make cost-cutting measures. They've managed the cap perfectly. They got quality veterans, and they got young ascending players and draft picks to back it up with. They are going to be a problem, Jay.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. They're a problem right now. Yeah. And as you said, they're going to be a problem within the next handful of years. And let's just say 5. SGA is going to get re-upped at that $300+ million deal. That's chips. That's coins.
Yeah.
Well, I'd sure love to be part of the SGA pack. I tell you that much, man, because he's probably going to be the highest paid player in the league when he re-ups. But they have done it right as of late. They have done it right, 5 years ago. And I don't want to say they did it right 10 years ago, Drapes, because 10 years ago they were in the finals, so they obviously were good.
Yeah.
But the other part of it is their fan base, who is considered one of the better ones by certain people, not considered by others, right? Depends on who you ask. But a matter of fact, real quick, how is their fan base to you? Like
OKC?
Yeah, you've been in there. They've been rabid. I've heard they're rabid sometimes,
they are top notch. Don't let jokers on social media tell you that OKC ain't live.
They don't go right. Man, okay.
It goes out there, Jay.
It does. It's an arena.
Because that's the only thing they got. They got that in Oklahoma Sooners football. That's it.
Man.
Trust me. When I walk the streets of Oklahoma City, when I've been there for the arena, watch it on TV, see the T-shirts, everybody standing up for the first bucket. They go. They go out there.
I think they've set themselves up for the future, for the present and the future, and they've done it decently and done it right in the past, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Since coming from Seattle, it feels like as much as they haven't been in the conversations in certain years, there was a lull, 3-4 years up in there, but the Hardens, the Royce Brooks, and the continuous, now you turn it to SGA and this young group of guys that they have, they're definitely going to be a problem for the next foreseeable future. Right. And I'd say 5 years. I would love to say, next decade, because SGA probably doesn't move for the next decade, Drapes.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're building around a superstar for 10 years, and we've seen it what the Warriors do with Steph Curry, they normally can stay within the conversation. The problem now, though, becomes J-Dub is already getting paid. Chet's going to have to get paid. You talk about Hartenstein getting paid. Caruso isn't on a huge deal, but he's getting, a decent amount of money. And we're talking about their first-round draft pick. They're going to have to start to sign some of these guys to deeper and bigger contracts.
Right.
So a few of these guys will have to leave due to the cap.
Yeah.
But they've set themselves up because of the draft picks for them to be pretty damn good for the next decade. Now, they got to hit on their picks.
Yeah.
But SGA is a star. He's going to be a star for the next 10 years. So they got a shot.
They got a shot, and give Sam Presti credit. For the most part, they've hit on their picks recently. Like, we talk all about the Kings got a tank, get all these picks. Well, we don't have a history of hitting on picks. If Sam Presti had to retool with picks, I got faith that he could get it done because he's knocked it out of the park.
He's done it
with some of his picks. J-Dub we talked about.
Yeah.
Lou Dort, Chet Holmgren, like Isaiah, like there's certain guys where they've done a hell of a job. Even Jalen Williams, Jay Will, the other
Jay Will.
Like on a lot of teams, that dude
is a starter.
Yeah. He's a baller.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're going to talk about that, Jay. I got to take a quick break because as much as I love what OKC is doing, as much as they're a force to be reckoned with, there's one team that could threaten them, not just in the Western Conference, but the entire NBA.
Sacramento Kings?
I'll tell you who it is next here. It's the Drive Guys here with Drapes and Jay on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Bundle Deal Days at AutoZone. Well, I do need a bundle of things. When you bundle, you save. Do I save if I bundle oil with an oil filter? Save up to $12 on that bundle. What about brake pads and rotors? Bundle those and the brake pads are free. Can't save more than free. You can save on hundreds of deals during Bundle Deal Days. Ends June 2nd at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply. Duralast brake pads only.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief. The best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Summer's almost here, and so are popsicles, pool days, and a lot of smiling. Make sure your kiddo's smile is ready with a visit to Kids Care Dental and Orthodontics. Our expert team makes dental visits easy and fun with sensory-friendly hours for kids who need a calmer environment. We can also accommodate same-day treatments, and to save you time, if your child needs multiple treatments, we can often do them all at once. Appointments fill up fast, so don't wait. Beat the summer rush and schedule online at kidscaredental.com. That's kidscaredental.com, where healthy, happy smiles begin.
The Memorial Day Race to Savings is on. Get the best deals of the season at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? During the Memorial Day Race to Savings, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Oh, jack it up, bring it up like you don't care. Make them know up your nice Christie sale. Move your waistline and make your extra near.
They came ready to play. We didn't. When you lose a game like this, it's not really too much to break down. They just did what they were supposed to do and won the game. They dominated the game from the tip. Can't do nothing but tip my hat to those guys. They came ready, man. So good job by them.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Drapes and JS, the Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports, 1140. Here with you till 6 p.m. Talking about OKC and that big win last night over Minnesota as they clinched their spot in the NBA Finals. Jay coming up in a few minutes. Just got some quotes from Jake Laavia about returning to Sacramento and the new head coach, Doug Christie. I'll read some of those quotes coming up in just a second here. But I teased the team, I think, that can challenge OKC. And nobody's really talking about them right now. Everybody's all high up on Indiana, where KD is going to go. What about Giannis? But San Antonio is quietly putting together something. And maybe it's not quiet. I don't know. But I feel like nobody's talking about them right now as a potential dynasty. You got Wemby. We know he's going to be an all-star for the next 10 to 15 years, easily. Defensive Player of the Year, multiple times over, MVP conversation. You got a veteran in De'Aaron Fox, who has played at a high level for pretty much his entire career. You got Stephon Castle, the number 4 overall pick a season ago, Rookie of the Year. You got good role players, Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Sohan. You also, Jay, have 2 lottery picks this year, number 2 and number 14.
Don't get me started with that.
You got first rounders going forward. You got a pick swap with Atlanta in 2026. We got the pick swap with Sacramento as well later on. So when I look at the arms race, if you will, for the next decade in the Western Conference, the only team I see rivaling OKC, and no offense, Danny Ainge out there in Utah, you just haven't gotten it done yet. I don't see the vision yet, is San Antonio. And how crazy it sounds, Jay, if I'm the Spurs, let's say I want to get in the Kevin Durant market or the Giannis market. I got the assets to do it. Let's say it doesn't work out with De'Aaron Fox. I could spend De'Aaron Fox and not blink an eye out there in San Antonio.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? Let's call it what it is down there in San Antonio. As great as De'Aaron Fox is, them winning the championship or not doesn't hinge on him. It's about Wemby. It's about the development of Castle. It's about these 2 lottery picks. You know what I mean? That they have. Like De'Aaron Fox is almost like the cherry on the top. De'Aaron Fox is almost like the Drew Holiday of the Celtics, where it's like, we're good without him, but man, once we got him, he puts us over the top. He makes us great. But the Spurs are going to be good no matter what with all these young assets they have. And so when I look at that, and I'm going to fast forward this conversation right now because I do want to get to the Jake Laavia news coming up in the next segment. When I look at what this means for Sacramento, hell, even if we tank, I don't know if we could tank good enough to even compete with these guys. These are Wemby's a generational player. Wemby is LeBron, Luka, Kobe, Jordan, Olajuwon. He's that guy. And so when I look at the future for the Sacramento Kings, Jay, everybody's talking about, well, we need to tank or we need to add a point guard. And I know you got to play out the games. But I think the writing is on the wall, not just for us, for a lot of teams in the league. Clippers. Hell, maybe even Denver. Warriors, Lakers. Like these dudes, I don't know if there's a move that gets us even close to what they can accomplish going forward the next 5 to 10 years yet.
I think it just depends on who as you're talking about an arms race, it depends on what you have in your, in your bunker already. Like, it sounds crazy, but you have, like, when you have Luka, you have something to build around. When you have Devin Booker, you have something to build around. When you have guys like that and Edwards, you have something to build around. Talking about Wemby and the Spurs, they might have 2 guys with Stephen Castle. Stephon Castle may be somebody to build around. You have to have those type of guys to even be in the conversation, Drapes. That's where I start.
Right.
And that's, as you talk about the Sacramento Kings, it's just another way of getting to the real meat and potatoes. You need to have 1 or 2 true pieces that you believe you can go to battle on the floor at any point in time and win the game.
Right.
When you walk into a game and you already have the 3rd or 4th or 5th best player on the court, as you know, you've seen it, you've been privy to it plenty of times, you're already behind the 8 ball. Now, it doesn't say you're going to lose, but you're already on an uphill climb.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why when you're talking about OKC, you're talking about the Spurs. Those guys not only have the arms race already, and they're young. They're not Steph Curry.
Right.
They're not Kawhi Leonard.
Right.
They're not LeBron. They are guys that are already arrived here in the league now, and they're looking towards the future. And then you add the extra draft picks, the flexibility, like someone talks about the Spurs being hamstrung with money. I think that's the point. What you're saying is Steph Castle is on a rookie deal. We're heading into year 2.
Right.
Year 2. Keldon Johnson is only getting paid. I say only. He signed a $70 million deal.
Yeah.
That's not big money in the league. When you're talking about SGA getting ready to make $70 million a year.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. De'Aaron's on a big contract, but as you said, they can flex him out of there and get a little younger. On top of, oh, by the way, we got 2 draft picks this year that the NBA, well, I don't want to sound, I don't sound downside, but the NBA assisted.
Yeah, gave him the stimulus package.
Conspiracy theory. I'm one of them guys. They definitely gave him the package, man. They definitely sent them that free get out of jail card.
Yeah.
So I see what you're saying. You look at just on paper. We're talking about on paper. Wemby, De'Aaron, Steph, Vassell, Sohan, Keldon. Oh, by the way,
2 lottery picks this year.
Yeah, it makes you look at your bunker and looks at your arms. You take inventory. You're like, oh, wait a minute. My inventory doesn't look like their inventory. And that's, as I say, that's another way, another stream to get to the conversation.
Yeah.
We, meaning the Kings, something has to give. Because next year, we're not playing for a championship the way we're constructed now. We can talk
Sacramento.
Yeah. Sacramento's not playing for a championship the way they're constructed.
You're right about that. But is that okay, Kings fans? Because knowing what we know, OKC, San Antonio coming along, and somebody on the text line, 916-339-1140, makes a great point. You can never predict the future, which includes injuries.
Agreed.
Not saying that will be the avenue for the Kings to slide in there, but you can already see, however, how Wemby has got some injury history now. And so I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I do know just because OKC's great, San Antonio, you can't not try though, right? Like
absolutely.
And so to the texter's point, I look out east. The Pacers were what? 4th seed, I think? 5th seed? Something like that? Nobody was checking them as real NBA Finals contenders, but they got hot and they figured it out. And so if I'm Sacramento and Kings fans, I'm talking to you. Are we okay not swinging for the fences here and just treading water, 6 seed, 7 seed, 5 seed? Or are we trying to catch OKC and San Antonio in a sprint? Let's say they're doing the 400 and they're already 200 yards ahead of us, Jay.
Dang.
How do we catch them?
Give a Michael Johnson a 200-meter head start.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Allison Felix.
And so I understand, Kings fans, we want to swing for the fences. We want to, tank and all this. What's more realistic for our team and our franchise is being the best we can with what we have, add some things, subtract some things, and just being relevant. Like, before you run, you got to walk and crawl, Jay.
That's true.
And so I don't think there's the magic pill that takes us. There's no time warp, time machine, hot tub time machine that'll take us from where we are now to automatic title contenders. I think it's something that has to be massaged over the years. Maybe you strike in a draft or something like that. Maybe a big name trade target. I'm just throwing out a name. I don't think it's possible, but let's say Giannis or that distressed asset that we talked about comes here and turns into something. Because if we tank, I don't even think we're still 3 to 5 years away. Then
easy. You tank, you definitely 3 to 5.
Do you want
away.
that?
Yeah.
Or do you want 40 to 50 wins year in and year out, play-in / playoffs year in and year out?
Kind of the perennial Portland Trailblazers,
right?
Damn,
a la Dame Lillard, Portland Trailblazers.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Talking about
Not these guys. Dame, and is that okay, Sacramento?
Memphis, the Mark Gasol, Mike Conley, Memphis,
right? Never got over
Grind
the hump,
City,
but we were in the mix.
Yeah,
That's how I view our path here in the short term. I'm talking next 2 or 3 years. I'm going to open up the phone lines. We're going to get into it a lot more. 916-339-1140. Call in right now. Are you okay, Kings fans? Not bottoming it out, not tanking, not being bad for 3 to 5 years, just being mid, being good, being in the mix for the next 3 to 5 years. Plus, I'll get into the Jake Laavia comments about Doug Christie. You don't want to miss that. It's the Drive Guys here on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Louis C.K. in an all-new show, Ridiculous 2025 Tour.
When I was younger, you had to go in the bank. Remember that? You had to go inside the bank. Now you look in the bank, you're like, what are those people doing in there? Are they cleaning? The money's out here.
Friday and Saturday, June 13th and 14th, 8 p.m., the venue at Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit thundervalleyresort.com. Louis C.K. live on stage.
When I was in Iraq, our convoy was hit. It was bad. After I came home, I could still hear booms and see tracer fire. Makes it hard to be a good mom.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Naomi Mathis, Air Force veteran.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
With help from DAV, I was able to begin to heal.
DAV provides a lifetime of support to veterans of every generation, helping more than 1 million veterans each year.
Today, I'm part of DAV. We're veterans helping veterans to get the benefits they've earned. And I give my veterans my all.
But there's more to be done and more victories to be won.
My victory is being able to be here for my children.
Naomi Mathis, thank you for your service. May your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Testing.
We are live from Chick-fil-A.
This is Grant.
And this is Laura.
And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is that sweet bun.
And that chicken fillet was perfectly crispy and soft at the same time.
And that Smokehouse Barbecue sauce, it's a lot of fun. And the brown sugar bacon definitely had a little bit more pizzazz. Also, the mac, one of the all-time greats. Man, I'm getting hungry.
Order the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich and a Coca-Cola on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the mountains or go pick up your dry cleaning?
RV wins!
Are we cleaning the gutters or taking the RV camping?
RV wins!
Are we getting a new passport or cruising up the coast?
RV wins!
Don't forget, you got that trip to Sweden coming up.
Oh, yeah, passport, then RV.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, other insurers, not available in all states and situations.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Back here on the Drive, guys. Sacktown Sports 1140. Happy Thursday, everybody. Weekend's almost here. Kids got out of school today. Yeah.
It felt like Friday today.
Yeah, I got an 11th grader now and an 8th grader.
Man.
Right?
Oh, I got a 10th grader, brother.
10th grader.
They I've had some family graduate this year. A couple nieces, cousin. Super interesting, man, just to see life don't stop, brother. Father Time is undefeated.
Right.
It is undefeated, man.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's crazy. And to think Nick, is going into 11th grade. He got 2 more years in the house before he goes off to college or does what he. I'm not ready for it. I'm not ready for it. I will say, I don't even know if they're listening right now. They're driving down to San Francisco.
Okay.
Kendrick Lamar and SZA tonight.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
They are on their way. So they're going to get turned up down
now. May I ask why you didn't go?
I have no desire to see Kendrick Lamar in concert. I have zero desire.
I'm just asking, man. Just asking.
If he was like performing in the neighborhood or something like that, and I was walking down the street, I'd peek my head around. Oh, what's happening? Oh, that's Kendrick. Okay, nice. All right, I'm vibing. But to pay hundreds, well, I don't even know how much tickets are, to hop in the car, drive 2 hours, to be in the stadium, nah, that's not for me. And to hear people get turned up over some of his songs.
Come on, man.
I don't need it. I don't need it, man.
You ain't trying to get out there on C-Walk?
I ain't trying to. I'm not. No.
You ain't trying to walk?
Not like that, man. Nah,
Wow.
I'm good. I'm good.
The young Drapers left Pops.
Yes.
But you're not feeling left out this time. Normally,
not at all.
Normally, you're, man, my kids went out and seen someone else.
Right. But I'm like,
you're not tripping.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. And you and I, we saw Talib Kweli recently. We going to Wu-Tang Clan. Don't forget.
Shouts out to you, bro.
I got you on that. I got you on the Wu-Tang Clan.
Are we going to Sugar Free?
When is that again?
June 12th, I think.
That Thursday.
Yeah. Talk
Count
to me. I got it.
If you got it, yes. Yeah, I go down there. Where's he at? Harlow's, right?
Man, don't be saying that out too loud. The next thing you know, people want to come and hang with you, Drake.
And Harlow's ain't paying us no money yet. They ain't got no endorsement yet with us. So, but no, it's shout out to them, man. Go enjoy yourself. They staying overnight, you know. And so my ex, let me tell you how she told him too. She got the tickets for them for Christmas. Wrapped up a bottle of mustard and put it under it. And I'm just like, I'm not a fan, Jay. I'm sorry. That's corny to me.
Shots out. Now that's a good move by moms. That's a good move right
that's
there,
corny
man.
To me.
But Drake ain't corny.
I'm not going to Drake either, though. I'm not representing like that. I'm not. I'm not checking. Jay, you look at the concerts I'm going to.
I hear you.
Talib Kweli, Wu-Tang Clan, and I only went to Taylor Swift because of my daughter. But other than that, I'm not checking.
You had a ball.
And I went to Future and them. When they came through. But that's my son, so I'm doing that. But this, I'm not. Like Mike, she's like, oh, Kendrick said, she on it first day. I'm like, go ahead. I'm good. You know what I mean? I'm good. It's like, I don't know.
I smell a little hate in your blood, man. That's all I'm saying.
Because I'm a shoe-in for hate of the year.
I just smell a little. It's not so much you ain't feeling the artist. I just think you're still not feeling the situation.
I'm not feeling the situation. Right. If this was
a
couple of years ago, maybe I'd be checking for him.
We'll give you a pass.
Yeah, but the new stuff, So enjoy yourself, Draper kids. Go for it. Have fun. Back to our top conversation here. If you're Sacramento, are you okay with not winning this arms race? Maybe even sitting this one out and just being okay with a 40 to 50 win team, middle of the pack, 6 seed, 5 seed, 7 seed, something like that. Knowing OKC's built for now in the next 10 years. Knowing San Antonio is built the way they're built. They got a generational star in Wembanyama, and they got assets and young players coming through the pipe. If you're Sacramento, are you okay with being the Miami Heat of the Western Conference? 8 seed, 7 seed, 6 seed, get in the playoffs, maybe win a series or 2, but not quite getting over that hump, not quite making it to the Western Conference Finals. I think it's going to be tough, Jay. And somebody put it nicely here on the text line right here. He said, with all the talent in the UPS, Chris, with all the talent in the West right now, I don't think it's worth swinging for the fences currently. Slow rebuild. Get younger. And if we lose, so be it. Absolutely don't tank, but let's get this rebuild going a little at a time. And so now this is what I'm thinking, Jay, because we talked about Zion, Ja Morant. If you get those guys, does it make you a contender?
For me, I say yeah. Because
really?
On paper, you have to say yes, because if you're going to build around those guys and let's just say a slow rebuild, you're wasting their prime. You're wasting who they are right now. So if you're going to get a top flight swing for the fence type move, which would be Zion, which would probably be Ja Morant, guys like that, Jaylen Brown, people like that, you need to hit the gas pedal right now. You don't wait. But if you're going to get your guy, RJ Barrett, if you're going to get a Scotty Barnes, just staying over there, you're going to get a Anthony Black, you're going to get a Jabari Smith, someone like that, that gives you opportunity to spin your wheels a bit and don't have to go, fight to get in the arms race right now. I think it just truly depends on what Scott Perry, what BJ Armstrong and the brass down there, G1C, how they see it. The problem I have, and I think this is the problem a lot of people have, and a lot of people here in Sacramento, because it's the hot topic, talks about the ownership diving into that and not allowing the basketball ops to do their job or giving them enough time. There's truth to that wholeheartedly. But I would also stretch it to say there's truth to that in the NBA. You don't get a lot of time to get out there and prove yourself and get a lot of time to say, you know what, 2-3 years, we're not doing anything, a la what you see what's happening in Portland. They've given Chauncey the time to say, the first 3 years, you ain't really got to do nothing. Just show us growth. There will come a time that Portland's going to say, now you need to, it's got to start. It's got to, determine. I mean, it's got to invest into wins now, translate to wins is what I'm trying to say. And so it just truly depends on which way you go. And that's what is so entertaining for me, Drapes, is if Scott Perry goes get Ja Morant, to me, that lets me know he wants to win now. He's on the hunt to win now. If he goes and gets RJ Barrett, I think he's ready to rebuild. Not so much as tear it down and tank,
but just stay relevant, stay mid.
Just what you said.
I mean?
I think he's trying to be, one of those teams that, Miami, they build around certain people for the next 2 or 3 years, and maybe they see an opening to go get another star. Maybe they get lucky and get a draft pick, a lottery, ice cold envelope to fall their way. It's got to be something of that nature. But if it's me right now and I'm the Kings, or if I am another team and I don't have a star, then I'm probably taking a step back until I get a star. And I've been vocal about that as long as possible. You can trim around the edges. RJ Barrett, Laavia, you can go get guys like that. But I'm just keeping a buck. Those dudes ain't winning championships. They're a part of a championship team, but they're not the people that take teams to a championship.
But here's the problem, Jay, and I hear you 100%. You can't fast track your way to a championship. Look what happened in Phoenix. Let's go get Kevin Durant. Let's go get Brad Beal. That's been our problem. Instead of letting some things marinate, and everybody saying, somebody from the 916, the only way you're going to win is get the next SGA, have as many ping pong balls as possible, young assets.
So it is a way, like, right. I'm not arguing this, Drapes. That is a way to get an SGA. But I also think there is another way or two, and that's what we're talking about is distress asset. OKC didn't get SGA with a ping pong ball.
Yeah, that's true.
They got him through a trade. And SGA wasn't SGA, if you get what I'm saying.
Right.
He was good, but now he's become great. And if you see that, if you have the foresight to see that, if you get lucky for someone to turn into SGA, then more power to you. Whoever, and I've been the first one. I always go back to the story. I thought SGA out of college was going to be a beast. I truly didn't think he was going to be this good.
MVP.
But I thought he would be a top 10 guy. That was just a luck thing. I just like the way he played.
Right.
I thought he did certain things. I'm a more traditional point guard type of guy. There are 2 or 3 different paths and directions to get a star. It just depends on how you want to do it.
Right.
Yeah. What is your path to getting that star, Drapes?
And I don't think, and we've talked about this, and we're going to come up on the break here. I don't think we're in the market of searching for our star because of the ping pong balls for the next 3 to 5 years. I don't think, as a fan base, we're ready to stomach. And I don't think you bring in Scott Perry and say, Scott, tear it down for the next 3 to 5 years. Scott Perry ain't no young spring chicken, ladies and gentlemen. He ain't coming here to wait 5 years for a champion. We got more with that coming up, Jay. I'm up against it. 916-339-1140.
I got a question for that.
Oh, okay. Okay, we're going to have Jay's question. And if you're going to Kendrick Lamar tonight, enjoy yourself. Drapes won't be tuning in. See my boy Marcus here on the YouTube chat. He says, got to make Drapes a Kendrick playlist. Dude's undeniably great. Last thing I'll say about that, Jay.
Here we go.
Make me a playlist.
Don't get him started,
Just
Marcus.
nothing from the last 2 years.
Marcus, don't get him started.
Give me some old Kendrick, not the new poppy stuff that he putting out.
Why can't you include what he's doing now?
Yes, man.
He can't get 1, 2, 3 songs in from right now?
Now, because you know what Kendrick Lamar is doing, Jay? He's taking the Drake formula. Let me make pop radio records, crossover records, if you will, to appeal to the masses. That's what he's doing.
That's not a lot of artists doing
Kendrick.
that.
Yeah, but that's not hot. That's not the essence of Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar, to me, is in the vein of a Mos Def, a Talib Kweli, a backpacker,
Nah,
if you will.
No backpack rapper, man. Take the break. Take the break.
All right, we'll bounce back after this. The Drive Guys here on Sacktown Sports 1140.
They say no two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app with over 16 million subscriptions sold? Well, we thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. She's an artist and absolutely a visual learner. She's doing a deep dive into our Babbel wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Malcolm is very much a type A, say it to my face, listening learner. So he checks with Babbel's speech recognition to make sure that accent?
Precio.
Keith's a real people person and a curious learner, so he loves Babbel's Culture Bites, full of insights and native knowledge about the language he's learning. Like, what's served for Christmas dinner in Germany?
Glühwein, Weihnachtsgans und Christmasstollen.
Wherever you are, however you learn, Babbel is the best choice to break any language barrier. Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Hi, I'm Alan Stiles. Injured at work? Call Downtown. Downtown LA Law Group, California's leading injury law firm. With over 40 lawyers throughout California, they've won over $500 million in settlements. Downtown LA Law Group will get you compensation for your work injury. You don't pay unless they win. That's right. You pay zero up front. Call Downtown. Text injury help to 40222. That's injury help to 40222. Visit them at calldowntown.com.
The Hagen Oaks Cutting Edge Putter Fitting Studio offers you more technology, more choices, and more service. Hagen Oaks wants to be your go-to total golf game fitter. With $30,000 worth of state-of-the-art technology ready for your fitting, Hagen Oaks will help you make your best putting stroke while finding the best putter design, shape, hosel, length, and loft for your game. Schedule your fitting at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for more.
Switch to Comcast Business Mobile and save hundreds a year on your wireless bill. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Restrictions apply. Comcast Business Internet required. Compares 2 unlimited intro lines and lowest price 5G plans of top 3 carriers. Taxes and fees extra. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabytes of usage. Data thresholds may vary.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Come on, bob your head, Drake.
All right, it's catchy. It's catchy. What's the name of that one, Jay? I don't know that.
30 for 30.
Really?
It's technically scissors.
That's why. That's okay.
But Kendrick, man,
That's why. That's why. That's why I'm not. That's why I like it. First of all,
you gave up on Kendrick, so now you're not looking for anything.
I'm not looking for anything. I haven't even listened to the whole album yet. His whole album that just came out.
That's disrespectful.
I haven't even.
As a rap hip hop head,
You know, my thing about is this.
Come
Jay.
on, man, that's disrespectful.
I'll tell you a little bit about Drapes here. I'm gonna pull the curtain back for you, big fella. And I'm not saying I'm the biggest Drake fan in the world. I'm not. I like some of his stuff. I didn't like his last album. I can admit that.
That pop album?
Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that.
Or are you talking about that dubstep album he put out?
No, the pop one.
Okay.
When everybody is going left, Drapes, and that's right, I'm gonna call myself Drapes and saying, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go check out what's happening right. When everybody's saying the hot club in Sacramento is this, I'm saying, you know what? I'm gonna go over here to this hole in the wall bar and hang out right here to the right. So when everybody is saying Kendrick Lamar won the battle, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, you know, he's Grammy and Emmys and all this, I'm like, maybe not. That's just how I am, Jay. That's
like that. I'm with
you know what I mean?
But you can't. This is the thing, and we're in the same vein. In this is, I wasn't a Kobe fan. I wasn't a Tim Duncan fan.
Right.
I wasn't a Jordan fan.
Me neither.
Right.
Yes.
But you can't deny their greatness. As much as I sports hate on Tim Duncan, he's bland. He's off the glass type of guy. He's Mr. Fundamental. I'm a KG guy. I'm a rah-rah guy. Now, you can argue KG is better than Tim Duncan, but in reality, Drapes, you got to give Tim Duncan his love.
But Jay, and I hear you. And when it's all said and done, when Kendrick retires.
Oh, you one of them. You gonna give him his flowers when he's done?
Right, when
That's
he's
cold,
done,
man. We shouldn't be
you
doing
gave
that
Tim
no
Duncan
more.
his flowers?
Yeah,
when he was playing.
Yeah. No, I'm lying.
I know.
Yeah, absolutely. I gave it to him after. But see, I've grown and I've learned and I've grown, Drake.
Like Larry Bird, I hated Jordan. I hated those guys. I was not team those guys.
Yep.
But afterwards, it's like, damn, yeah, they were good.
They were good.
They were good.
He said, Tim Duncan KG. I'm a KG guy.
Right.
You give me KG any time of it.
Yeah.
I'd say give me KG over Tim Duncan. People gonna take a step back and say, man, you're a fool.
Yeah.
As much as KG is a Hall of Famer, he's a beast. He did his thing. Unfortunately, Tim Duncan in the big ball of wax had a better career. Most people would say because of the championships.
Mm-hmm.
Besides that, they've done everything the same. You got to recognize the who K-Dot is. He has turned the game upside down.
But
in many ways.
But see, all right, this is the problem I have, Jay. And I know we're Sacktown Sports, but we got to get to the root of this real quick here. We'll get back to Kings talk.
The root of your hate?
No, the root of why this guy has popped so much. I'm looking at his albums. I was a huge Good Kid, Mad City.
Everybody
love that.
Yeah,
love
everybody
that. Love that. To Pimp a Butterfly.
Yep.
Solid. But then, even Damn, okay. But I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I wasn't checking for it, but this last album is a little different, as far as I'm concerned. It's a little more mainstream appeal, radio hits, where I feel like his old stuff, you know what it's like, Jay?
So you talking about Mr. Morale? Or you talking about GNX?
GNX.
Okay.
GNX. It's like this. There's a cheesesteak spot in Philadelphia. I don't know if you've ever been out there. Jim Steaks.
Here we go.
Jim Steaks used to be the spot.
Right.
It was Phillies. It was 2 a.m. on South Street. We hitting Jim Steaks. You know what happened to Jim Steaks?
Became the go-to.
It got featured on Diners, Drives, and Dive-Ins or whatever that show is on Food Network.
Right.
And then it became corporate. I feel like Kendrick recently, the last year or so, has sort of
you just
become corporate a little bit. A label.
I won't argue that. In the form of he has progressed to the form of when you're doing the biggest sporting event pretty much in the world. People would argue World Cup, people would argue the Olympics.
Yep.
But on a yearly basis, you have at some point left the backpacking alone. You just called Kendrick Lamar a backpack rapper. Could you have ever imagined a backpack rapper performing at a Super Bowl halftime show?
But that's my issue, Jay. I'm going to say Snoop Dogg.
So you respect him?
I like Snoop.
Okay.
The early stuff.
So when did you stop liking Snoop? When he got with Pharrell?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes. Like,
So what you're telling me is I'm going to rock with Kyle Draper, Louisville Kyle Draper.
Yeah.
I'm going to rock with Kyle Draper, Seattle Kyle Draper.
No, but I'm the same dude.
No, but they are too, though. I'm going to rock with Boston Kyle Draper. I'm going to rock with Sacramento Kyle Draper. But wait till ESPN. Amazon.
I might be like new money out there. You might have reason not to rock with me. I'm just thinking about that. Your boy gonna be stunting out there.
This is the thing, and I only take it personal. I'm talking about you personal because you can answer it personally. As Dion said in his song, money gonna change me. It's gonna change my library card to my credit card.
Ooh.
It's gonna change my slippers to my crocodile skin. Loafers,
yeah,
hard bottoms, whatever you want to say. You're Stacey Adams.
Stacey Adams.
It's going to change your address, your zip code. But Drapes. You are who you are, correct?
Yeah.
You're still Kyle Draper. You're still the person that was in Louisville.
So you're saying he's still K-Dot?
Come on now. All he is doing is the masses have now gotten a taste of who Kendrick is. I think it's different, and I'll take the argument, but I think it's different when you look at a rapper, backpack rapper, and I can't think of one off the top of my mind, but you look at a backpack rapper, and then all of a sudden, because they were featured on Justin Timberlake, now all of a sudden, all of their song, their sound, everything's completely different. That's not K-Dot. He's still who he is, but the masses have now seen who he is, and they enjoy it. Now, of course, he's got to have the 30 for 30 with SZA. He's got to have the Taylor Swift cut.
Yeah.
But if you listen to his albums, and that's the thing, you listen to his albums, I didn't really like Mr. Morale, the Big Stepper. That wasn't for me.
Yeah.
GNX is but it's a little more West Coast, so I could deal with it.
Right.
He's got, a few more West Coast slaps. He still is being who K-Dot has been for the longest. He's still doing him. He's not putting out poppy songs on his album. Now, because listen, the masses will listen to the radio or the single, and you got to hear it every DJ Kenzo slapping it down there. At Golden One, because that's the masses. But if he's still giving you who he is on his album.
Really? Okay, so I need to do a deeper dive. Get past the singles.
You gave up on him. You gave up on him.
He could come back in. He just turned me off the last year. I'm going to do a deep dive on Kendrick over the weekend and not listen to the radio cuts. Listen to some of the other ones on the album. I will do that. Hey, we got to take a break. 916-339-1140. I promise we'll get to the phone lines. We got 10 hanging on, Javier hanging on, and Russ hanging on. If you want to chime in on the Kings, Kendrick Lamar, plus Jake Laavia has some very interesting comments on Doug Christie. I got that for you coming up next. It's the Drive Guys here on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Stay up to date on Sacramento sports. Join the Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter. Visit SacktownSports.com.
For more than half a century, contractors and trade professionals have relied on WeatherGuard for heavy-duty truck and van storage equipment, not just to protect their tools, but to protect their professional reputations. Whether it's inside or outside of work vehicles, a WeatherGuard badge means pros can trust that their hard-earned name is in good hands. Since 1968 and every day since, WeatherGuard has been protecting anything it takes to build a professional reputation. WeatherGuard, established in 1968, proven every day. WeatherGuard.com.
Memorial Day savings explode at Maida's Elk Grove Chevy. Save $12,500 off MSRP after rebates. Every new 2025 Silverado Turbo Max in stock. And Maida Chevy has similar savings on every new Silverado. One of the largest selections of new Silverado in the Sacramento area. $12,500 off new Silverado. Exclusively at the Maida Chevy Silverado Supercenter. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Plus 2021 or newer, not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local, but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Get ready for a summer of music, comedy, and thrills with the Sacktown Sports Live events calendar. Kick it off with punk legends The Damned at Ace of Spades May 31st. Then laugh it up with comedian Kathleen Madigan at Hard Rock Live Sacramento June 7th. Country fans, mark your calendars. Whitey Morgan and the 78s roll into town June 19th, followed by jam-packed June 21st. Tainted Love is at Ace of Spades. Lee Bryce and Walker Hayes are at Ironstone Amphitheater, and Penn and Teller are at Under Valley. Then it's 3 days of music and wine at the Country Summer Music Festival, June 27th through the 29th at the Sonoma County Fairgrounds. Don't miss the tradition and thrills of the Folsom Pro Rodeo, July 3rd through 5th, followed by country superstar Cody Johnson at Golden One Center, July 18th. August brings legends. Catch Rick Springfield August 1st and Parker McCollum at the Ironstone Amphitheater June 16th. Grab your tickets now and don't miss a beat. Only with Sacktown Sports.
Skeeter here. Got a question. What's small and dark with white bands on its legs and bites during the day?
Mosquitoes. Hi, I'm Luz Maria Robles, but these are two new types of day-biting mosquitoes. They're invading our area and becoming a big problem.
And they can be dangerous.
But we're on it, so when you see them, report it at fightthebite.net. In the meantime, use insect repellent and drain stagnant water around your yard.
We're here to help with these day-biting mosquitoes.
Visit us at fightthebite.net.
KHD HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140. Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Back here on the Drive, guys. Sacktown Sports, 1140. Jay behind the boards, playing the tunes today. Hit us up, 916-339-1140. Kevin Whitey Gleason off today, so you got Drapes and Jay. Was talking about Kendrick Lamar, that concert going on tonight. Him and SZA down there in San Francisco. Draper family on their way to that. They should be down in the Bay right now, getting ready for that. Before we get to the phone lines, I want to recap what we started off talking with. OKC going back to the NBA Finals for the first time since 2012. They're set for now and the future. San Antonio is coming. So if you're Sacramento, if you're the Kings, are you trying to compete with these guys and swing for the fences right now? Bring in a big name? Or do you build along the margins, have a slow build over the next 3 to 5 years, be relevant, 40 to 50 wins, and then strike? Instead of rolling the dice right now, using all your assets to go out and get somebody that might not even put you over the top. You can weigh in on that, 916-339-1140. But I do want to get to this Jake Laavia article. It was just posted today on basketballinsiders.org. Jake Laavia set to be a free agent. According to this article, and I'm reading it now as we talk, Basketball Insiders, it says, if Laavia doesn't end up back in Sacramento, he hopes to land on a young, up-and-coming team looking to contend for a championship soon. Aside from Sacramento, Laavia mentioned Orlando, Detroit, San Antonio, and Denver as possible teams he would want to play for. So there it is right there. Laavia has 3 to 5 teams that he would like to play for, including Sacramento. This article on basketballinsiders.org, let me see who wrote this out here today. Ben Pfeiffer is his name. Has some interesting quotes from Laavia regarding Doug Christie. Laavia said, quote, me and Doug kind of clicked pretty early just because he liked the way I play. He likes those energy guys. I thought I had a really good relationship with him. Laavia goes on to say, I had even told the Kings in the exit interviews that if they gave him the head coaching job, I'd look forward to going back there even more. Now, we had heard Jake Laavia speak highly of Doug, wanted him back as coach. I also reported Zach LaVine said the same thing. But these are actual quotes from a player that says he would like to once again play for Doug Christie. I think this is massive, Jay, because this is a guy that was in the locker room, behind the scenes, saw the dirt, saw the turmoil, and still said, you know what? Doug's my guy. So no matter volumes. Right. So no matter how the season ended up, 40 wins, getting bounced out in the play-in, dysfunction behind the scenes, that player, and I'll throw Zach also, looked at Doug Christie and said, I want to play for this guy. So to me, when I hear about Scott Perry and whose decision and all, I don't care whose decision it was. It was the right decision to bring back Doug Christie. And to hear Jake Laavia, quotes from Jake Laavia saying this, echoes that, Jay. It shows me, you know what? Doug was able to navigate through all of that and still earn the respect of the players in that locker room.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. That's 4 guys, if we go back to exit interviews, and we know exit interviews are a little different than have a little time in between. Then you do an interview with a periodical and you say those words. But I think if you really look around that locker room, Drapes, and you have a better idea than we all do because you're connected to the locker room, that wasn't in question. I don't think people question the fact of the want to, the prowess of who Coach Christie was when it came to the relationship with the players. Excuse me as I cough here on the back end, but I think people question the fact of, is he ready? Does he have enough X's and O's in his repertoire to move forward? Things like that. Enough experience. Beyond that, I'm not sure anyone's been questioning who he is as a coach. That's really dove in. That's really paying attention. That's really on top of the game. Now, you're always going to have those fans who's like, oh, yeah, give me Jeff Van Gundy. Give me Mike Malone. And those are the people who don't stop and think, Mike Malone ain't coming back here. We got to be sharper than that. Now, unless you're going to get that man $20 million a year, why would Mike Malone come back here? All the things that he's kicked so much dirt and dust on the Sacramento Kings organization, you got to be sharper and smarter than that. But all that being said, the one thing no one can question, and you're hearing a little bit between what Jake is saying, Doug wants to be the coach. He wants to take part in bringing Sacramento up from the bottom of the NBA and take it back to where he only knew where the Kings were at the time, which was at the height of the NBA. He wants to be a part of that. He wants to be the leader to steer the ship. He wants to be, hey, I want Jake Laavia. Hey, I'm looking for the Malik Monks of the world. Another thing that I read into that real quick, Drapes, and you tell me if I'm wrong, is we talk about player-coach relationship. We've questioned player-coach relationship during the Mike Brown era. We didn't really know where he stood with certain guys. It felt a certain way. The one thing what Jake is telling me is, and I don't know if Mike did it or not. He probably did. But Jake is also coming out and saying, Doug likes hard work. He likes somebody that's going to get after it. He like a dog. He ain't looking for a pushover. He wants somebody that if you got to knuckle up, let's knuckle up. If you got to go, you got to finesse the situation, let's finesse the situation. And that's what Jake is. Jake came here as a scrapper, a defender, someone, now he got hurt, but someone that's going to do the dirty work. So that tells me those are the type of players that Coach Christie's looking for.
And I think, and we could go back to Jake's first game, and he talked about it as well. He said, I really did enjoy being there in Sacramento. Even outside of the coaches and the players, the fan base there was amazing. I could see going back there as an option. Right from that first game, Jake endeared himself to the fans. And I think one of the issues that the Kings have had in recent years, we don't have to have the most talented team. We don't have to have the best shooters, the best dribblers, the highest jumpers. But I think what Sacramento Kings fans want and would be proud of is the guys with the biggest hearts that lay it on the line. We ain't got Jokic. We ain't got SGA. But that doesn't mean we can't have some scrappers. And I think, to your point, Jay, and Jake Laravia's point, these are the guys that Doug is looking for. Sure, we want talent, no doubt about it. But I could argue talent only takes you so far. If you're the Kings and if you're Doug Christie and Scott Perry, I'm looking for the things that don't show up in the box score. For instance, we talked about SGA. A lot of people were high on SGA, thought he was a good player. But I don't think anybody thought he'd be an MVP. You know why he's MVP? Because of what's inside of him. The ability, working hard, playing the right way, leading. That's intangibles. Tyrese Haliburton. Everybody talked about his funky jump shot. Unable to get it off. But what they didn't measure is his heart, his competitive desire. Jake Laavia ain't jumping out the gym, ladies and gentlemen. Jake Laavia ain't Steph Curry from three. But what Jake Laavia has, and I think we need more of this with this franchise and these players, is a competitive desire. When you look at what the Pacers are doing right now, and they got a chance to close out the Knicks tonight in Game 5 at Madison Square Garden, the Pacers are not the most talented team in the Eastern Conference. Boston has more talent. Cleveland has more talent. Knicks, you could argue, is even a more talented team. But what Indiana has, it's the intangibles. Indiana, and I'm going to throw OKC in this, they got those dogs. Chet Holmgren had an interesting quote last night. He said, he was asked, how were you guys able to put it together and make it this far and all this? He said, we got 17 dogs in the locker room. And you don't need 17, but can I get 5 or 6? And so I think Jake Laavia is one of those type players. May not be the most talented, but I could envision Jake Laavia being an Aaron Nesmith, being a Ben Shepherd. Somebody off the bench comes in, dogging Jalen Brunson, harassing him, hounding him. Those are the kind of guys we need. I know we want to swing for the fences and get the Zions and the Jaws, and you need talent, but you also need those dogs out there. And so what I'm hearing, Jake Laavia say, Doug Christie enabled him and inspired him and saw in him that dog and let him loose out there.
I sure hope so. I'll tell you that much. Don't hold it back. I'll tell you that. If you got a cane corso on the leash, man, let it off. I tell you, the other thing I found interesting about that is I think some people around here believe Jake Laavia is gone. That's not what he said.
He didn't say that, right?
Nah, to me, it sounds like Jake is talking about this could be a destination he could play here next year. Could be tongue-in-cheek. Could just be a Q&A. I'm not 100% sure. One thing when you're not able to get the tone of how a person delivers the sentence. It's like one of the things I always tell my wife is sometimes if it's something that's for real, don't text me because you ain't going to get the real tone of how I'm coming with it, right? You can misinterpret that, and I don't want no misunderstanding. But I will say if he's talking about Coach Christie in this type of light, if he's talking about Coach Christie allowing him to be himself, if he's talking about the fans, if he's talking about, don't count me out. Sacramento still is rolling off my tongue. Yeah. Jake ain't gone yet. Yeah. There might be some conversation to be had about Jake still being here in Sacramento. And I said this to Whitey. Sometimes as fans, we can kind of look at it and we'll put a number, a dollar figure to a person. And it doesn't work out that way. We don't really know what's happening behind scenes. You couldn't have told me this time last year, Malik Monk wasn't gone.
Right.
And when he jumped back, it was like, what? How?
Right.
That doesn't even make any sense. And I think a lot of people are looking at that with Jake Laavia, like, he's going to get more money and people are going to pay a higher fee. A higher salary. We don't know. We don't know. He was hurt quite a bit last year. Maybe his value took a dive.
Right.
And maybe he wants to be here. Maybe they've had a conversation of making the pot sweeter down the road. But I read in that Sacramento is not out of his future at the moment, as of today, as of yesterday, or whenever he did the Q&A.
I'm going to follow up with Jay on that coming up. Plus, we'll get to the phone lines, 916-339-1140. Jake Laavia seems to still be in play for Sacramento. How big is that? We'll dive into that next here on the Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports 1140.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Oh, I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Back here on the drive, guys. Sacktown Sports, 1140, Drapes and Jay. Looking at the text line, you can hit us up, 916-339-1140. From the 530, if Indy wins tonight, can Drapes lead tomorrow's show with I can't go 6 days without basketball? Oh, yeah. 100%. I might not be able to go tomorrow without basketball. No games tomorrow. Thanks to OKC winning.
Man, find something to do.
I'm have to get out in them streets a little bit on a Friday. From the 209, this conversation is way too bubblegum. They want some hot takes. They want us to, rip somebody. Also from the 209, can we please get off Jake Laavia spending too much time on a bench role player? All right. I guess they're saying the same thing out there in OKC about Cason Wallace and Alex Caruso. They're saying the same thing out there in Indiana about Ben Mathurin, who just dropped 20 the other night. Jake Laavia could be a key member of a playoff contending team. We saw his impact before he got hurt. So excuse me if I'm not spending 4 hours talking about the superstar player. Jake Laavia may be just as important. Here's the thing. As great as Tyrese Haliburton is, the Pacers aren't winning without some of the others. As great as SGA is, the OKC Thunder aren't winning without some of the others. So don't disrespect Jake Laavia like that from the 209. I will say this, last thing regarding the article on Basketball Insiders before I get to the phone lines here, 916-339-1140. When he said about Doug Christie, I'd look forward to going back there even more if Doug's the coach. Jay, we know damn well Jake Laavia understands the cap situation and knows the cap situation and the money just like we do.
Absolutely.
So the fact that even in his mind he's entertaining that, to your point you made right before the break, shows he has not closed the door by any stretch of imagination coming back here to Sac.
That relationship ain't done. He still got something to talk about with that relationship. It ain't completely over.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it may not happen, but he's at least going to pick up the phone when they call.
Right.
He's definitely, he sees, and I think, just reading through his exit interview and that article, he can definitely see himself still being here in Sacramento. That's the start.
Right.
That's the start.
That's the start. And during the season, everybody was worried. Oh, man, we're not going to only $5.1 million. Jake knew all that. And he still, after the season, said, I'd look forward to going back there even more. Let's get to the phone lines, Jay. People been on hold here. I'm going to start with PJ on line 3, Jay. PJ, you're on with Drapes and Jay. What's going on, man?
Drapes, Jay, if it was possible to stand up while I'm in the car, you guys were dropping some science there in that last segment. Word up. I'm serious. That was amazing stuff. If there's anything that I would love to see more from our hometown Kings, it would be tenacity on a regular basis. It's unrealistic to expect 50, 52 wins from this crew. Who knows what that crew is going to look like? But you know what? If I see motion, if I see some growl, if I see that hustle like the Rockets are displaying, like the teams that you mentioned are displaying, I'm a happy hometown fan. Drapes, I know yesterday we were talking about how pictures are the new currency instead of a signature. Yeah. If I see you around town in that Eagles sarape, holler at me. Let me know where you're at so we can take that pic, bro.
Okay. Are you an Eagles guy or no?
We've been through this. Yeah. I think we've made all of our the station mates a little too sick. But we to do our Fly Eagles Fly.
Yeah, we got to do it again, right? We got to do it again. Appreciate you, baby.
Hey, man, keep the radio up, you guys. We need to have you guys on the nation, dude. Over and out.
All right, guy PJ, shout out to him.
Hey, Bagel.
I'm telling you, man, Eagles Nation is out here, Jay.
Man, out.
Eagles is out here.
Them birds is dead.
You know what we like? We like owls at night. We sleep during the day, but once it come night, you hear us out there. Whoo, That's Eagles fans right now. We up.
Why y'all hiding? Why y'all Super Bowl winners? Y'all supposed to be flying around town 24 hours a day at this point.
We outnumbered though, man.
Peacocking. Y'all should be peacocking, talking about birds.
We should be. Hey, let's get to Javier on line 2. Javi's been holding on. I got to hear his latest trade proposal of the day. What you got, Javier?
How you doing, Mr. Draper, Mr. J? So I made a modification. You had definitely made a great point that was more than prevalent about DeMar DeRozan's lack of rapport with Toronto. So the trade that I proposed, which is more than relative to reality, the Kings call Miami Heat, and they send them Malik Monk, DeMar DeRozan. The Miami Heat send the Kings Davion, 3 years, $36 million that could exceed up to 3 years, 45. Then the King, or 3 years at 39. Any league, it gets to $15 million depending on in the base. They also send the Kings Haywood Highsmith. The Toronto Raptors receive Nikola Jovic. They get Jaime Jaquez, and they get the filler salary. The Duncan Robinson. The Kings send them the 2027 first round pick they got in the Levine deal. Both the second round picks that are now available through the Kevin Herter trade now being sent over that pick to the Atlanta Hawks. The Heat sent over their 2 second round picks, and if needed, they will also receive a second pick from the Kings if needed. The Kings, this is what everyone needs to understand. They receive Davion Mitchell, their point guard, R.J. Barrett, and Haywood Highsmith. And how this makes sense and how it's logical is the Kings cannot expect to get a plus A-level blue chip player for DeMar DeRozan, but on top of that, you cannot expect for a guy like Davion Mitchell at the threshold of the Miami Heat to get a point guard along with a small forward with 2 ball handlers there with a sub to, I would say, average defender in R.J. Barrett, who has great upside, and an A-plus defender in Davion Mitchell. But what I'm saying is Malik Monk will offset we're going to lose Davion Mitchell in Miami. The Kings have Davion, Levine, R.J. Barrett, Keegan Murray, Sabonis with the back five of Devin Carter, see what he has, Keon Ellis, like you said, Laavia, Haywood Highsmith / Trey Lyles, and Jonas Valanciunas. But we can't start thinking, if we're not going to get the star that everyone wants, you have to understand, you have to take the plus you can get. Unless you're willing to give up Sabonis and or Murray, sorry, gentlemen, that goes to the whole city of Sacramento. Everyone listen, you're going to have to get rid of Sabonis and Murray with an A-plus point guard and or A-plus wing. You get a Davion or R.J. Barrett here, the Heat would be thrilled to get not just DeRozan, but they would take the loss, quote unquote, let Tyler Hero run the point and give it up Davion if they got a guy like Malik Monk. They get a shooting guard that can offset that. We get our point guard back and see what Devin Carter can do as a backup point guard. But that's our lineup of Davion, Levine, R.J. Barrett, Keegan Murray, and Sabonis. I think that's a 47-49 win team, and that makes sure DeMar DeRozan doesn't end up back in Toronto. Reroute him there to Miami. What do you guys think, John?
All right, Javier, good call. It's a little confusing. If I'm hearing you correctly, all we're giving up player-wise is Malik and DeMar. And some picks. We'd have to give up a first-round pick, I believe Javier said in that. We get back R.J. Barrett, Highsmith, and Davion Mitchell.
I'm not the biggest Davion Mitchell guy. Nothing against who Davion Mitchell is. I'm just looking for something a little, I guess, a higher ceiling.
He got that dog though, Jay.
He does. And Davion is great at what he does, but I'm looking for something that's a little more packs a little more punch.
A little more
higher end. Honestly, and I'm starting to get to the point, and I am at this point because of the conversation we had earlier, which is OKC is above and beyond, barring injury. Now, injury changes everything,
right?
But on paper, they look good for the next 5 years. That's just one team that you have to deal with. Now you can go out and beat them, but you got to have the horses to do so. I'm hunting and pecking for my guy. And however I can get to that guy who I believe is a star, the main piece, the cog that I'm going to build my team around, that's probably my main focus. That's me. That's not Scott Perry, though.
Right.
That's not BJ Armstrong. That's not Coach Christie. That's not Vivek ownership, because they have they have other things to worry about.
Right.
But I'm just being realistic. As a fan of the Kings, I could care less about all the fringe moves right now. I'm looking for my guy.
How we getting the
How
guy?
do I get my guy? And then I'll start to have the conversation of the RJ Barretts and all of that. But that's just me.
Yeah.
That's what I'm asking. I mean, excuse me, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not Javier. I'm not Draper. I'm not, Whitey Gleason. I'm not Jason Ross. I'm not Alan Stiles.
Scott Perry.
I'm not Scott Perry.
Right.
I'm hunting for my superstar. And until I get this.
It starts with that, is what you're saying.
For me, it is. Yeah. I'm out the school of Danny Ainge. I'm going to do everything possible for my team not to win, almost to the point where we are getting fined. For me not to win.
So you tanking?
I'm doing it. I don't know. That's what I said. There's different paths to it, but I'm going to figure out how I'm going to get it.
Hey, we'll continue the Kings talk coming up at the top of the hour. Up next, though, our guy, Damon Hack, NBC Golf Channel. He's covered the Knicks for Newsday in his career, former Sacramento B writer, covered the Niners. He's very familiar with Sacktown. We'll talk to Damon Hack here on The Drive, guys. Sacktown Sports 1140.
The Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter right to your email. Get your latest on the Sacramento Kings, Athletics, and Republic FC with the Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter. Visit SacktownSports.com to join.
This summer, make every pitch count with the Sacramento River Cats Cats Pass. For just $59, enjoy 18 River Cats home games with access to the Sky River Casino Solon Club, featuring some of the finest ballpark and skyline views. Soak in summer nights at Sutter Health Park, all at unbeatable value. Whether you're a lifelong fan or just love a night at the ballpark, the Cats Pass is your ticket to summer. Join the Sacramento River Cats all season long. Secure your Cats Pass today at rivercats.com.
Whitey here for Napoleon Grills, reminding you that when buying a new grill, every detail matters. While supplies last, you'll receive a $149 gift with purchase on every new Napoleon Prestige stainless steel grill. The kit even includes a pizza lover starter kit and much more. And now up to $79 off Napoleon Rogue models. Napoleon grills are built different, built better, built to last, with a lifetime warranty and premium steel that boasts amazing quality. Visit Green Acres Nursery today for your best selection of Napoleon grills and accessories.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6814. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6814. 800-575-6814. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey, I'm Alan Stiles. Have an injury? Call Downtown. Downtown LA Law Group, an injury law firm, has many happy clients in Sacramento and the surrounding areas who have called Downtown. Get paid for your injuries from slip and falls or auto accidents. One of their most recent settlements was $1.5 million for a motorcycle accident. Have you had an auto accident? Call Downtown. Text injury help to 40222. That's injury help to 40222 and visit them at calldowntown.com.
Catch all the action at Sky River Casino. Enjoy over 80 table games, more than 2,100 slot machines, and a thrilling high-limit room. Plus, with 18 elevated restaurants, bars, and lounge destinations, and Sky River rewards that add up and up. There's something for everyone. Just minutes from Sacramento, right off Highway 99 in Elk Grove. Join in the fun and experience new heights. Sky's the limit at Sky River Casino. Visit skyriver.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Back here on the Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports, 1140. Coming up in a few, we got Damon Hack, NBC Sports Golf Channel, former Sacramento Bee writer, joining us as well. We'll talk to him about golf, Niners, whatever we want to talk about. Somebody from the 916 texted in a few short minutes ago. You guys just got done saying Kings are competing for nothing but the lottery for the next 10 years. So why are we even talking Kings at this point? Nobody ever said the Kings were just competing for the lottery the next 10 years. Don't be making up fake stuff. We said right now, San Antonio and OKC, they look to be the two dominant teams for the next 10 years. If you're Sacramento, are you okay with being a 4 seed, 5 seed, 6 seed, 7 seed, something like that?
On paper.
On paper. We're not saying the Kings are destined for the lottery for the next 10 years. Ain't nobody saying that. We saying, how do we compete with these guys? And is it prudent to maybe not swing for the fences and give up all our assets for somebody that won't put us over the hump, per se? And so I'd love to hear from you, 916-339-1140. Somebody also says from the 530, Jake is the definition of a 3-and-D guy, which I believe we need. And somebody also on the YouTube chat agrees. Jeffrey Simpson said, you're describing Keon. Just start him. Keon plays hard on both ends and makes the team better when he is on the floor. If he was a first-round draft pick, he would have been starting a long time ago. And I think as a Kings fans, we need to have a conversation about Keon. Because here's the thing. Scott Perry in his introductory press conference said the Kings needed a point guard. Well, you got Zach LaVine at the 2. Where does that leave Keon? Jeff Simpson. Can Keon be a starter, your starting 1, or are we suggesting move him and have him be our starting 2 and move Zach to the 3 spot? And so I don't know. Honestly, how I view Keon is like this. I view Keon and Malik as our 2 guards off the bench, are game changers. If we need defense, I'm coming to Keon first. If we're giving up 35 points in the first quarter, 20 in the first 4 minutes, something like that, Keon. If the offense is struggling, I'm turning to Malik. Like, to me, when I look at the flexibility we have in the backcourt, and then you throw Devin Carter out there, so then you have a 5-man guard rotation, basically. Whoever your point guard is, Zach, Keon, Malik, and Devin Carter. I think that's pretty damn good at the guard position. I think that's pretty damn good. I don't know, Jay, if Keon is a starter on a championship caliber team, deep playoff, unless he turns into a Derek White or somebody of that ilk. Like, what's Keon's ceiling, do you think?
It's a good question. I would say for me, he probably pans out to be a Caruso type.
Ooh.
Which is, for me, is not a starter. I'm with
right.
you. I think he's a hell of a bench guy.
Right.
He's a top flight bench guy.
Yeah.
Who can 10, 15 games start if your guy is hurt or injured, or, you got a few guys who are limping and hobbled. I think that's Keon. But as I always say, Keon, if you're listening, prove me wrong.
Right.
Who cares? Go be Kobe. Go do what you need to do. We're just forecasting what we think, but I hope he becomes Kobe. I'm not sure he will. I doubt it, but please prove me wrong.
I 100% agree with that, because when I look at Keon in the Caruso comparison, I really like Caruso is good enough to start on a lot of teams.
Yep.
But for a championship team,
there you go.
His best role is probably what OKC is using him as. Bench guy, still get minutes. Ain't like he not getting minutes or anything like that. That shows you the depth you have. If Caruso is your bench, your sixth man, damn, your starting guards are tight. J-Dub and Shai Gilgeous.
Yep.
So for us, if Keon is coming off the bench, damn, Zach and I don't know who the point guard would be. Damn, they're pretty tight. That's a good problem to have.
I agree. It's the Malik Monk effect. You know, I think that's we can all agree, maybe some of us, not all. I'm pretty sure there's still some people out there who believe he should start. I always thought Malik should start if he had a point guard next to him.
Right.
He's a 2. He's a combo guard. He's a guy who can handle it, but fill it up. When you need him to be a point guard and solely a point guard, it was only in a short span. I understand January to the end of the season. And of course he was hurt at the end. To me, that showed me enough that I'd rather keep Malik who Malik is, which is a combo / 6-man. And he feels, and one thing about Malik, and you know, he's told us, and he'll tell you if you're listening, he can play point guard.
Right.
I'm not saying he can't, but if we're talking about on a championship caliber type team, which we know the Kings aren't, we're foreshadowing, right? As Dante Whitner said, foreshadowing greatness. Then, yeah, I would want him to be my 6th man coming off the bench.
916-339-1140. Jay, let's get to the phones real quick here. Let's go with give 10 a try, the wheel of 10. 10, what's up, man? You're on with Drapes and Jay. That's the set. 10 is, hey, he's done for the week, Jay. He's done for the week. He did this yesterday, too.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
You try to give people a shot. You know what I mean? You know what 10 is like? He's like the dude on the bench, ain't played all season. One time, coach, all right, 10, check in. You're getting into the game. Takes off his warm-up, forgot to put on his shorts. Ain't got his uniform on. Dog, no, you ain't. It's like, nah, man, go sit down, Ted. Go sit down.
Please call back.
Hey, let's get to, how about Chris? Chris is online, too. Chris, what's up, man? You're over with Drapes and Jay.
Hey, man, great to be on with you. Can you hear me clear?
Got you, Chris.
Oh, my God, great conversation, man. And, you know, I'm just sitting here thinking, you know, we all want to be millionaires, but it's the process, right? How we get it, how we built it up, what we invested in, the payoff for the championship. So I'm really loving the conversations about Arabia and other folks. You know, I've seen Doug Christie in the community. I've seen what he's able to do. And as a man, I'm willing to work for Doug Christie. I'm willing to play for Doug Christie. It's like having a boss, right? If he's willing to put in the work, I'm willing to show up for him. And I just think that, you know, in our past teams, you know, Bibby off the, shooting threes, Weber down low, you know, 6th player of the year, all of that. We had a culture. We had an identity. And we need to find that. We need to ask ourselves, what is our culture in Sacramento? We worked so hard to get a building. Now we have a building. We worked so hard through so many coaches to get a coach. Now we have a coach. And now we need to find that player, as you're saying. And, you know, I go back to the great teams of Oakland, the city, the great teams of Seattle, the city. You know, you're talking about championships now in the NFL, the great city of Philadelphia. I mean, this team represents the city, right? And so we need to find something that represents us, someone that's willing to put in the work for us. And, yeah, it might be a small position piece like Arabia, but that's where it starts. And so, you know, I just love the dialogue. But again, to that caller that said earlier, why are we even talking about this? You know, everything in life is intentional. And if we're putting the intent behind it, it is the process that is the most beautiful part.
Good, great call right there, Chris. Appreciate that. And Chris raised a good point talking about Oakland, talking about Seattle.
He even threw Philly in
there.
Where he was coming on that.
No, I get it. I mean, we're champions, you know, at championship level. But the question I want to ask you, Jay, coming up after this timeout, does the professional sports team, do the Kings as a team need to reflect the city? because I got a number of examples where I say yes.
Damn.
And it works. And I'll tell you those cities coming up next here. It's the Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports 1140.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Comcast Business, powering possibilities. Well, when the A's broke their losing streak to finish the last homestand, it was a special day for Logan Davidson and Willie MacIver. Each guy got his first major league hit. And for MacIver, who grew up an A's fan, he drove in the go-ahead run in the bottom of the eighth inning and threw out the potential tying run to end the game. A storybook finish to a special afternoon. Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. It's how retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing must-visit shops. And it's how healthcare offices become data-managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business.
People are coming from all over to Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, from Folsom, Elk Grove, Woodland, Roseville, because they've seen for themselves the huge selection and the best prices at SackSuperstore.com. Good luck finding a lower price anywhere else. And if you do, they'll match it. It's as simple as that. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where a handshake still means something. Open until 10 o'clock and centrally located right across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course. And online at SackSuperstore.com. The guaranteed lowest price and the best selection of Dodge, Chrysler, Jeeps, and Rams. SackSuperstore.com.
The Memorial Day Race to Savings is on. Get the best deals of the season at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? During the Memorial Day Race to Savings, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Shout out to Chris, our last caller here on the Drive Guys. Drapes and Jay holding it down. Kevin Whitey Gleason out sick again. Hopefully he's on the mend, and we'll be back tomorrow. Chris raised an interesting point, bringing up some of the cities, Oakland, Seattle, Philly, and it got me thinking. Who are we as a city here in Sacramento? We talk so much about the Kings' identity. And does the Kings' identity need to reflect the identity of the city? For instance, I look at a team like Detroit, grimy, tough, hard-nosed. They embrace that. They embrace Detroit basketball, a throwback to the bad boys in the 80s and early 90s. And so if you're the Sacramento Kings, does your team need to reflect the city? And Jay, you're the mayor of the city of trees here. You're the commissioner, whatever you want to call it. What would you say is the identity of the city? And because I'm going to keep it real, we can have this conversation.
That's tough, man.
because we're so varied, so many different parts of it.
Yeah, we are.
You know, and so I don't know if you can nail down this is who we are. And so if you were to say, like, I kind of know what the Bay Area, San Francisco has its feel, right? The town has its feel.
Mm-hmm.
What's our feel? What's our identity?
I feel like we've talked about this in certain forms. And I don't remember the young lady who called. And she said, and I'm paraphrasing here, we are a hardworking gumbo pot, but we are family orientated with a little bit of flash. Right? Now, me throwing a little bit of flash on there is, of course, growing up here, being younger, being, having the opportunity as Sacramento to grow. I'm kind of in the golden era of seeing Sacramento grow compared to someone who might be 50, 60 years old. They would have a different interpretation of how the city operates. And I think if we asked our children, Drapes, they would say something different as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to do than it was for a 60-year-old here in Sacramento. The other part, so I used her base, her foundation, and I put the flash on there because I think, and I said this, and I don't know if you remember, there's not an identity crisis for Sacramento because we know who we are. There is an identity crisis sometimes in circles for some people. Hear me again, listeners. I don't need anybody to jump on. For some people, sometimes, and in certain circles, where we have to defend ourselves because we don't want to be the Bay Area's little cousin, little brother, right? We're the family to the Bay. When you talk to bosses, when you talk to, people who operate big figures, high profile people in the Bay, they don't look at Sacramento as their little brother. They look at Sacramento as a kin, a cousin, someone that is like-minded, sometimes need us to be in that argument to defend Northern California. But then you also have an opportunity in Sacramento where you have a community who wants to keep Sacramento family orientated, don't want the big feel, want the rural feel, this is a great place to raise a family. And then you have pockets who are like, nah, let's turn this thing up. I need a nightlife. I need something to do every single weekend. I want to be at the local amphitheater. I want to go to Sac Republic's new entertainment joint and go see K-Dot. I don't want to have to go to San Francisco to Oracle. I don't want to have to go with someone on the text line said, I went down to Los Angeles, took I believe their children and had a ball at K-Dot. I don't want to have to do that. I want that to come to Sacramento. And we've been seeing that more, but for whatever reason, we also see there's still a pocket of a lot of people who fit the other side of the bill too. And so Sacramento, as you said, we're such a melting pot. The 2, 3, 4 things, adjectives, or, things that I would describe Sacramento is we're solidified in who we are. I think we defend ourselves because other people see us differently, if that makes sense. But when you talk to Sacramentans, it's all good. We also understand that there is a complex for other people outside of Sacramento because they see us in a different light. Oh man, how are you guys the capital? Right. Why is LA not the capital? Why is San Francisco not the capital? And they shouldn't be the capital. We've done enough. We put in enough work here in Sacramento to be the capital. And so I think we're hardworking. I think there is a great respect that Sacramento is a gumbo pot of flavors. You can see anyone and everyone around Sacramento. You travel a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You go to a lot of places. There are many places throughout the United States you still don't see the cultures. You still don't see the different races. You still don't see the different festivities that happen in Sacramento. At any given time, there's something popping off in Sacramento if you do your research and dive into it, where you can run the gamut. Vietnamese, Laotian, African American, Caucasian, and so on and so forth. Farce, there's so many different things that you can do. And so I think when you really sit down and look at it, we are a conglomerate of people that are welcoming, hardworking, and know when to hit the go button, but also are reserved enough to know, like, we are who we are. We don't have to continuously defend who we are. Now, sports world, that's a different situation.
Right.
But I set that as the foundation because I think that's the fiber of the people.
Uncle B says we are blue collar, prideful underdogs.
We're not blue collar though. See, I disagree.
But this is let's have this conversation, Jay, because I'm listening to you. I'm reading what Uncle B says.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the problem.
We're not blue collar.
If I say Detroit, I know what Detroit is. If I say Philly, I know what Philly is. New York, I know what New York is.
Right.
Miami, I know. LA, they got a certain type.
Absolutely.
Bay Area, the town.
Yeah.
We're a combination of everything.
And I think that's what makes us great.
Yeah.
And that's why I laid the foundation of different cultures and races and festivities, is because unlike a lot of places, me living in LA, me living in the IE, me living in Houston, me living in Texas, me in all these different parts, playing throughout the country, traveling around the country, been blessed to be in, however many states and see different countries. Sacramento was special because we are one of those. We're like Toronto. You go to Toronto, you're liable to see anything, meaning people, color, height, size, festivity. It's a melting pot. As I say, it's gumbo. It's the roux. It's the shrimp. It's the chicken. It's the crab. That's what you see in Sacramento. I'm with you. I'm not 100% sure where we divulge ourselves when it comes to outside of Sacramento.
Somebody says from the 916, I'll just read a few of these. Sacramento is a white-collar farming community.
Part of it.
916, fellas, 100% Sacramento is diverse. 28 languages spoken at McClatchy High School when my wife was a school counselor there.
Believe it.
916, they don't have to rep the city. We just want a team that we're proud to support. 925, I wouldn't say the identity needs to reflect the city, but it definitely helps.
I agree.
And so I think when I look at, and we got a break coming up here in a second, when I look at Sacramento, we have a chip on our shoulder, which is a good thing.
For sure.
To say we're not the Bay. We're not LA.
Is that the defensive part of it?
You mean on the court or like?
Well, I think that's the entire identity of Sacramento.
Yeah, I think.
And crossing over into sports consistently, Drapes, and you tell me, you were outside of here looking at Sacramento before you ever came here. Take yourself back to that time. Sacramento consistently has to defend itself. Right. And this is something I've said. We don't have to do it. We choose to do it. But there's a reason why fans consistently do it. And I think that's a deeper conversation. It's because we haven't gotten the respect that we should get. Just do. When you have conversations with players, when you have someone like James Donaldson who will have a conversation who's from here, who's had opportunities to, play other places. But you talk to athletes who played here and have went somewhere else and, maybe here a season or two. Jimmy Jackson comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
They always say what? Man, it's the best spot of my career. Jimmy Jackson said this reinvigorated his career. He was done. Like, I didn't have it. No, Sacramento wasn't, excuse me, other places in the NBA just wasn't doing it for me. Sacramento created something different for me and brought back the atmosphere of entertainment for basketball, the love for basketball for Jimmy Jackson.
I want to continue the conversation after the timeout. Plus, DeMar DeRozan speaks on what went wrong this past season for Sacramento. It's the Drive Guys here with Drapes and Jay on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Everyone has a fave Wendy's Frosty flavor. And when you're choosing from chocolate or vanilla, it's not that hard. But now there's all new Frosty Swirls and Frosty Fusions. So try picking your fave from Oreo Brownie Fusion, Pop-Tarts Strawberry Fusion, Strawberry Swirl, Brownie Batter Swirl, Caramel Swirl, and Caramel Crunch Fusion. Not so easy now, huh? For a fresh way to Frosty, gotta be Wendy's.
Participating U.S. Wendy's. Oreo is a trademark of Mondelez International Group. Pop-Tarts is a trademark of Kellogg North America Co., LLC. Used with permission.
Carmichael Dave here for my good friends at American Energy. As a native Sacramentan, I can tell you, not that you need to know, that it might be nice right now, but turn the corner and oh my God, it's so hot. Yeah, you know, summer is coming. And my friends at American Energy want to make sure you are dialed with your AC unit. So how about this? Half off tune-up right now. It's a special going on, just $24.50 to get your air conditioner tuned up. A free diagnostic. And oh, by the way, if you need a new AC unit, up to $3,500 in rebates on qualifying system installations. That's right. They've been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Give them a call, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Here's the song.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number Everything Smart Bed sale. Every smart bed and base are on sale during our Memorial Day event. Up to 50% off, plus free home delivery. Limited time. Exclusively to Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your boat, boat wins.
What are you going to do? Take the boat out for a spin or go mail something?
Boat wins!
Are we cleaning the patio or taking the boat out fishing?
Boat wins!
Are we skipping that eye exam to go sailing?
Boat wins!
Rescheduling eye exams can be a nightmare.
All right, fine. Eye exam, then boat.
Yeah!
With Progressive, you can bundle your boat with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings on your boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states and situations.
At Valley Strong Credit Union, we know that local businesses are the backbone of the Central Valley, investing in our neighborhoods, boosting the economy, making the Valley stronger. But when it comes to their finances, where can they turn? A big bank that just sees another number? That's not good enough. Valley businesses deserve Valley support for payroll, credit, cash flow, and everything in between. Valley Business is Valley Strong. Learn how our cash management services can support your business at valleystrong.com.
KHD HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Back here on Sacktown Sports 1140, it's the Drive Guys, Drapes and Jay holding it down. Kevin Whitey Gleason out sick. Hoping he's back tomorrow, feeling better. Got 2 hours left to go. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, James Donaldson, Sacramento Sports Hall of Famer. Played his high school ball at Burbank High School.
Shouts out, Titans up, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
3500 Floor Road.
Yes, sir. Oh, he gave it the address too. He gave it the digits
That's
too.
my alma mater.
Oh, really? You
Yeah.
went there? Oh, I didn't
Come
know
on,
that.
man. It's
Okay.
Iraq, baby. A lot of folks around who will talk about stuff, man. I'm born and raised.
You
down
born and
here.
raised.
Background file don't got to be checked, man. It's already there.
I ain't got to look at the LinkedIn page or anything like that.
There's no need. There's a lot of people who talk about, oh, you know, this and that and that. I'm not hard to find, Drapes. You know that.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
you
not
out here
hard to
moving and
find, brother.
grooving. Yo, appreciate everybody watching at work, driving home right now. People driving to the Kendrick Lamar concert tonight.
Shouts out
there
to
in San Francisco. You know, sorry you had to waste your money, but go for it. You know, do what you want to do. No, I'm messing around. But Jay, I want to get before we get to. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there with Kendrick Lamar again because we could talk all day about that. I do want to get back to the conversation we had right before the break because we had a caller, Chris, I believe his name was.
Yep.
Talking about other cities, Oakland, you know, Seattle, Detroit, Philly, their identity. We know what those cities feel like, what their identity is. And I asked the question, does our basketball team need to reflect who the city is? What's our identity in the city? For instance, Detroit, bad boys, like they wear that with honor. You coming into Detroit, you go huge H-Town, same thing. They created an identity about that. Meanwhile, you go to LA, you go to a Lakers game, it's all about celebrities, flash, showtime, everything like that. Miami as well, you go to be seen, see who's in the audience and everything, the crowd and everything like that. But when it comes to Sacramento, what's our identity and what do we want the identity of our basketball team to be? I'll give you my take on this, Jay. And people can call in right now. I got a couple open phone lines, 916-339-1140. What do we want our Kings identity to be? And when I think of Sacramento's identity, Jay, I know it's a melting pot, many different languages. You know, you got the state capital, we got high-paying jobs. To me, I feel like Sacramento's identity can almost be summed up in one player.
Okay.
I'm going to bring up a former King. And it's the way he played the game. It's the way he carries himself to this very day. I'm going with Isaiah Thomas.
Definitely.
Somebody that's been counted out, somebody that's been doubted, somebody that's been disrespected, whether it's for his size, his draft position. And so when I think of Sacramento, I think of a city outside of here that people look at and forget we're a part of California. I say, I live in California. First thing they say, oh, you live in LA? Oh, you live in San Francisco? I'm like, no, I'm repping Sacramento. And so I think when we look at our city, our identity is we have a bunch of grinders, hard workers, people who have been counted out, people who are looking to make a name for himself, people who haven't been given a silver spoon, and that's kind of how we want our players to be. I don't know if I want my superstar to be Mr. Flashy, Mr. Blinged Out, Mr. Met Gala. When I look at a city like Memphis with grit and grind, that was their identity. That's the identity of the city. And they embraced it. They got players to reflect that. So if I'm Scott Perry, BJ Armstrong, Vivek, whoever's running the show, as I build this franchise, I want grinders, guys that lay it on the line every single night. I want people, I want players, and I feel like Domas represents this, mind you. Domas ain't taking nights off. Domas out there trying to get it out the mud every single night.
Right.
He not avoiding the smoke, the contact. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like he's coming out, and I feel like that's how Sacramento is. We don't avoid the smoke here in Sacramento. Whatever you throw at us, we can deal with, we can handle. And that's what I want to see from our basketball team, Jay. Oh, you want to play an up and down, fast-paced style? We got that. Oh, you want to grind it out? You know what? You know who did that, Jay? Those early 2000s teams.
Absolutely.
They could get you fast-paced, or they could work you in the half court.
Play any style.
They could defend. They had the toughness also. And that's what Sacramento is. We're not just one thing. We're a combination of a bunch of things.
Absolutely.
And so when I look at our team, and everybody says, our identity, we want to play fast, that only gets you so far. Why can't we play fast and be grimy in the half court? Why can't we be fast and lock you down on defense, up in your grill defensively? Why can't we be both? Because as Sacramentans, that's what we are. We're a combination of everything. So when I look at our basketball team going forward, and thanks for calling in, we're going to check in on the phone lines coming up here in a second. When I look at our basketball team, I think we need to build it that way. Meaning, I don't need 15 guys that like to get up and down the court and score. Give me some of that, but also give me some grinders in the half court. Also give me a sprinkling of defenders that's going to make life miserable. Also give me somebody in the paint that's going to dominate as well. But the one thing I do believe when it comes to our identity with our Kings team, and a non-negotiable, is you got to bring it every night.
Agreed.
You got to play it.
Yeah.
Because when you in LA, it's nice. Weather's beautiful. It's sunny. Everything's smooth. All right. When you in the Bay, we got Silicon Valley. We got all the money in the world. But when you in Sacramento, Jay, some days it ain't going to be sweet, big fella. Some days it ain't going to be all smooth out there. But you got to find a way to win. And that's what I need to see from our basketball team, is that when the shots ain't falling, when it ain't your day, you got something else to turn to. And that's the hustle. That's the grit. That's the grind. That's the hard play. That's what Sacramento is to me. It's not about shooting threes. It's not about getting up and down. It's about no matter what, at the end of the day, you're going to walk out of Sacramento knowing, damn, they gave it their all against us. You felt them. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Doug is trying to get them to.
Nah, I'm with you. I think that's spot on. And as I said, I think that exemplifies the diversity of what we bring here in Sacramento. And that's why it's the first thing I went to is, diversity of who we are, we as a community, looking for that same style, that same formidable passion, from your sports squad. And that's the other thing that I want to make sure, because my last thing I didn't put in, we're super loyal. One thing about Sacramento, man, we're loyal to the soil. Yeah, there aren't too many people who are Sacramento sports fans who turn their back on the Kings. Even when times got rough, even when they said, hey, we're out of here, the organization said we're gone, Kings fans still fought to the end.
Right.
And so I want to make sure I put that in their loyalty. But hardworking, absolutely. Diverse, absolutely. Loyal, absolutely. Right. Cautious, absolutely. Hey, sometimes aggressive, absolutely, because that comes the point in time where we have to be my next defensive. Sacramento is always on the defense. We're on alert. But the great part about Sacramento, and that's what you're talking about, is we can also play the part of we can lay back in the cut and relax too.
Right.
And when you least expect it, we'll ease off the gas. When you need it to, we'll hit the petrol.
Right.
We'll step on the gas.
Right.
And so if we're talking about that for the Kings, if we're talking about that for our sports community, then absolutely. Because I think if you really sit down and look at it, Drapes, more times than not, those are the teams that win championships. OKC probably is the favorite, no doubt. They're diverse.
Right.
They can beat you defensively.
Yeah.
They can beat you by scoring 140.
They can knock down the three too.
Or they can slow it all the way down, and SGA will just go get 30 foul shots.
Couple of texts here. Fellas, Sacramento is so diverse, it's a test market. New York and LA are their own markets, but Sac is Anytown, USA. That's why you see so many new items here: chips, salsa, salad dressing, drinks. If it works here, it works across the country.
Yep.
Amadrock, I see Sacramento as a diverse cultural, rural, and urban community. The vibe is easygoing, but passionate about our sports affiliation.
100%.
916. More than anything, I believe Sacramento wants a guy that plays hard. We are a no back down kind of town. 100% spot on. We're going to get to the phones coming up in a second. TC's holding on. Odissa's holding on as well. We're going to take them now, Jay? Okay, forget the break. We blowing past the breaks here. Jose be damned. We're going to keep it rocking here on the drive, guys. Let's get to TC online, too. TC, we're checking it with you. You're on with Drapes and Jay.
Mic check.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mic check. Hey, y'all got me clear?
Got you, big fella. Got you.
Hey, look, man, check it out. Listen, check it out. Hey, we out here. Check it out. The type of team we want is a gritty team, right? That's what Darren Christie is about. I believe that's what Perry Armstrong and Mike Woodson is about. But, I'm with all the Kings fans, and I'm like, hey, we want a gritty team, right? We can either lock you down, or we can either shoot the three. So that's why I say a hybrid, like these breaks, a hybrid between a Memphis, Houston, and OKC. And why I say that, the grittiness of Houston and Memphis, but also the brotherhood and the unity of OKC, bro. That's what that's about, man. That's what the Kings is going to be about. That's the team that they're going to put together. That's why I say everybody get ready, man. It's going to be fun, bro. Be back.
My guy. Appreciate you, TC. TC weighing in, saying the hybrid. And here's the thing, fellas, and people listening at work, ladies in the car. You don't have to have all of one thing. You can have a couple of high-scoring guys, a couple of guys that get it out the mud. Like, that's the beauty. I look at OKC, to Jay's point, they could play so many different styles. They could play finesse. They could beat you with the three. Oh, you want to play an 80 to 85 game? We could beat you that way too. And I think that's where we got to get with Sacramento. Somebody on the text line said, playing fast is working for Indiana. What's really working for Indiana is their grittiness and griminess on defense.
Yeah.
That's what's working. They getting it out the mud defensively. They're playing fast and they're locking you down defensively here in the postseason. So they're doing a little bit of both. 916-339-1140. Back to the phone lines, Jay. Odessa chilling on line 3. What's up, Odessa? You're on with Drapes and Jay.
How we doing, Drapes? Jay, first time caller, long time listener, driving in from Vallejo, back to Sac. I'm a Sac-Rackian, living in Meadowview now, so I appreciate Jay. I always give it up and represent his neighborhood. Driving in from Vallejo, I wanted to comment that where I see where I have to become a Sacramento ambassador wherever I go across, if I'm in Vallejo, if I'm in Atlanta, if I'm in New York, if I'm in Atlanta. So I take pride in it because when you travel to these places, the first thing they ask me, I remember the Shaq was traded to the Lakers. So what do you think about the Shaq trade? I said, I don't live in L.A. I'm from Sacramento. Let's talk about the Kings. So, but I've been a basketball coach, basketball lifer. Once I told Jay, class of '98, Hiram Johnson. But one thing I noticed with our talent is we need coaching to come back to Sacramento, where we need to have a strong support. And one thing, this is related to the Kings, and Drake, you asked for a lot. You went down that list, but you was asking, you want the world. We got to start somewhere, though. But I remember going to a Laker game at the Staples Center on Christmas. I don't know if it's Christmas Day or I've been to a Bulls game when Derrick Rose was playing, and then I went against the Kings this is the Ron Artest day with Kobe and Paul Gasol, and that team was big. That team was large, and so they're playing the Kings, and I'm right behind the backboard. I got a whole purple Barney jumpsuit on, representing Sac High, because I was coaching at the time. And the thing is, it came down to playing hard every night, like you said. And so that was just my 2 cents. Jay, Drapes, Whitey, hey, y'all have a good one.
All right, Odessa, appreciate you, man. Odessa jumping on here to drive guys. And back to his point and the point about Indiana and OKC. That's the one thing they do. They play hard every night. They're bringing it. They're not backing down. They're taking it to you every single night. And that's what I think as Sacramentans, that's why losing at home hurts so much.
Right.
You know what I mean? If we were Miami, you know what?
Man, I'm straight to the strip right out of here.
All right, it's whatever. Let's go. But Sacramento, our fan base wants it so much, wants it so badly. You can feel it as you enter the building. And you know what else you can feel? I've been in arenas all around the NBA, ladies and gentlemen. The one thing I think that Sacramento for sure has the edge on every other arena in the league is this, Jay. The joy and the excitement the fans have when they walk through the door. When even outside waiting in line, it's like a party out there. You know, they ready to get turned up. The excitement when they come in, it's like they're ready to cheer on their team. It's no limping into the arena. All right, I guess we're going to go to this game in January against Detroit. Damn, or Charlotte. No, our fans, they are turned up from the jump when they walk through the door.
Yeah.
Who's my guy, my usher guy? I'm sorry, I don't know his name right now. What's his name? That's my guy. He gets them turned up. Like when you walk in Golden One Center, you know you're ready to be entertained. And so now as we go forward, Scott Perry, BJ Armstrong, Doug Christie, and everybody listening right now, we need to make sure the players are turned up when they come in. Whether it's, you know what I think we should do? One of the things that I admired and liked about the 49ers, Jay, this was a couple years ago when y'all made it to the Super Bowl. I like the boom box down the tunnel.
Man, they ain't brought nothing.
But I'm feeling you. But I like the now you got to back it up.
Yeah.
But I need our guys to walk into the building thinking, this is our house. We ready. I know we got our little drip cam, and when the guys come down the steps and everything like that, and the tunnel cam, but when they're about to run out, I need somebody to act a fool before they run out.
I'm with you. But I think that's the diversity that we're looking for. And that's the representation of Sacramento, Drapes, is you're going to have the hardworking type community of Sacramento, right? As someone said, blue collar. Blue collar is just too easy of a definition for me in Sacramento. We're hardworking. There are some characteristics of blue collar, but we're not blue collar. This community is far past being blue collar, as you said.
Yeah.
We want a little flair and passion and a little flashing to what we're doing. It's not all we're all coming out working in the cornfields.
Right.
That's it's not 1963. And that's the part. And
we
that's
ain't in the factory.
Nah, we ain't doing that here in Sacramento all the time. Right. Now, of course, we're politically driven. We are county driven. We are state driven because there are a lot of those agencies that house here in Sacramento. So, yeah, if you want to say hard working with that. But when you look at the definitions of blue collar, we're not all blue collar in Sacramento.
Yeah. Shout out to Primo real quick. Mr. Lee is at the door.
Smith.
Yeah, Mr. Lee Smith.
Ramsey said that on the text line
Yeah.
too.
Sorry about
Absolutely.
that, Mr. Lee. I know you're a fan of the drive guys.
Absolutely. And so that's part of the diversity. But then at the same time, we do got the Malik Monk, the Prince coat. With the studded kicks.
Yeah.
Like there are parts of Sacramento that want to be that as well. And so that's where the diversity of who the Kings could and should be moving forward. And again, I said diversity normally wins championships. You don't normally win a championship by doing only one thing great.
Right.
You have to normally do 2 or 3 things good or great. You might do one thing great, but you're going to do the other 2 or 3 facets of the game.
Right.
at a high level, at a high caliber. So I think I think we're all on agreement.
Yeah.
That's who Sacramento is.
916. If you really think about it, Indiana, OKC, and Sacramento are all very similar city-wise.
They are.
You're right about that. Jay, let's get back to the phones here. Coming up in about 8 minutes or so, we got James Donaldson, Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame, pride of Burbank High School. He'll be joining us, and we're going to ask him about this as well. But let's get to Jason on line one. Jason, you're on with Drapes and Jay. What's happening?
What's happening, guys? I grew up in Sacramento. I live in Lodi now. I actually grew up in Rio Linda.
Okay.
Done that. But the great thing about Sacramento and the surrounding areas, including the Lodi, Stockton, and the Calaveras County area, is it's not just the diversity, but it's the determination. We are determined as a city in every aspect that we do to prove ourselves because, quite frankly, we really haven't. We had 20 years ago with the Kings, that was great and all, but we didn't win a championship. We still haven't, as a city, we're still the little brothers to the Bay Area, to LA, and so for that, it's just pure determination, and it's what is driving us as a city and a fan base. And Drapes, I'd like to say for the record, yesterday when I texted in and said that RJ Barrett's worth a Gatorade jug, I'm not Stockton, I'm Lodi.
Oh, Lodi, all right.
Let him know, Jason.
Dude, all right, Jason, man. Jay, you got to screen your calls better, big fella. Yeah, you got to screen. This is an anti-RJ Barrett guy. I don't know how we let that guy get through. I appreciate the call, Jason. Good stuff. 916-339-1140. George, you're on with Drapes and Jay. What's happening, George? How are you today?
Okay, guys. Thank you guys for taking my call. Hey, Drapes, you always call it right the way you see it, and I do appreciate that. We had an identity in the 48 winning season. We abandoned it. We recognized exactly what we needed, and we did not implement. Instead, this last summer, we ended up getting DeRozan, which is short. He's really not a small forward. He's a guard. He cannot defend, and he's old, and he's a half-court guy. So we abandoned what the way we won in the 48 season, and then we doubled down on that. We traded Fox, which he is our star, which we're probably in the next 3 to 4 years we're not going to be able to replace such talent. And then we end up getting Levine. We can't make this up. We end up getting Levine, $46 million man that cannot defend, and you still owe $96 million on. So we need to clean the image of this team. You have 3 players, starters, that cannot defend, and you have 3 players that they're not even playing in their position. And then after you got rid of Fox, you end up getting somebody from the bench, giving him the ball and tell him, hey, you're the starting point guard. Are you guys kidding me? This is a disaster. And somebody should really be called on with the disaster stuff. As a fan, I am hurt to see the deterioration of this team in front of out of the city communities. We are a laughing stock, so we need to clean our image first before we start thinking about identity. I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. Thank you.
All right. Let me say this to George, and I appreciate here on the Drive, guys, Sacktown Sports 1140. We welcome all kinds of opinions and takes and everything like that. I ain't going to cut George off. Because one thing I heard from George is the passion and the love for the Sacramento Kings. Right, Jay?
Yeah.
And I will agree with him on this. We were starting to develop an identity very briefly, and we got rid of it. I don't know what our identity is now with this roster. And so, to George's point, it's like we had something. We were building an identity. And then we got players, according to George, that don't fit the identity that we were building. It's like building a house, Jay, and halfway through saying, you know what? I want to go mid-century modern instead. It's like, dang, now you got to tear it all down, though, and build it back up.
That go hard, huh?
That go all right, man.
Nah, you're
Go
right,
ahead.
though. You're right. And the one thing about George, not one thing, but he hit on a few things, and he is spot on in this form. And you talked about that point. My other point that I appreciate with George is this: there has to be accountability. And I think we've talked about that enough. And I think everyone who was a fan of the Sacramento Kings, from the hardcore to, just I like to go to the games and it's entertainment here and there, accountability is something that the Sacramento Kings, and I consistently say it, and Drapes, you don't have to respond to this, getting out in front of certain things, not letting the narrative be painted about you, dictating the situation rather than reacting to the situation. All of those things are wrapped up into accountability. And the Kings organization, for my money, and it sounds like for George, and I think I'm speaking for a lot of fans, not all, but some, there has to be a difference in how this organization operates to a certain extent. I'll be the first one to say it. I've said it. The Kings lead throughout the NBA circles in certain aspects of what's going down at the G1C. Entertainment-wise, technology-wise, they are setting the standard throughout the league. We are privy to those press releases. Mm-hmm. We get to see other NBA teams and organizations come to Sacramento, and as someone says, use it as a test right. Stadium, a test arena. We lead in some of those circles. But I'll be damned. It's like we are dead last, or it feels like dead last in certain circles, and that in certain aspects throughout the league. And unfortunately, a lot of what matters is what's happening on the court. And that's why you get the Georges like, nah, I'm doing anything and everything. I'm all in. And sometimes as a Kings fan, it don't feel like the organization is all in. And that's the outside looking in. And I get it. I understand it. And that's why, as you said, we welcome the Georges because they speaking with passion. Right. They want some clarity to the situation. They want to know where we're going. And this is the problem for Kings fans. Drapes, you haven't been here for that long. You've been here long enough, but not that long. Mm-hmm. Minus that 2000 team, you can split it 97 to 2006, maybe a 2-year stint here, maybe a 2-year stint there. Yeah. I think we're asking the same damn questions all the time. What's our identity? What are we doing? Where are we going? How are we getting better? I don't see it. I don't feel it. And guess what? As I always say about the Kings, if Scott Perry is listening, if Coach Christie is listening, if B-Jack is listening, if anybody with the last name Ranadive is listening, if anybody over there at the G1C is listening, understand me. Do a better job of getting out and telling people and showing people what the hell is going on. And that even goes with the whole conversation what we're talking about, which is the community. It's lost in certain forms. I'm only speaking for some people. And that's the George in me. I hear where George is coming from. And I can jump on the other side too, because as we talked about being Sacramento, we can be camouflage. We can play 2-3 different sides. We can be diverse. Right. That's who we are as Sacramentans. But I'm speaking the George way that way. I'm speaking from where George is coming from, Drapes. Do a better job, Kings. It's time for you guys to do a better job instead of stringing us out for so long and we don't have an identity. Hence why we're talking about it. Hence why we're questioning it. Hence why we want to know where we're going. That's what George is saying in many different ways.
We're going to ask James Donaldson this coming up next. Played high school ball here in Sacramento, veteran NBA guy, knows the league as well. Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame member, James Donaldson joins us next here on The Drive, guys. Sacktown Sports, 1140.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6814. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6814. 800-575-6814. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
I remember as if it were yesterday. I reached down to move a nightstand and was astonished at the weight of the piece. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. At that moment, I instantly recognized the difference between Naturewood's quality furniture that will last a lifetime versus lesser quality furniture found elsewhere. Now, I suppose there's a huge difference in what you'd put in your first apartment and what you would live with in the comfort of your own home. Right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings Made in USA sale is a great time to fill your home with solid, superior quality furniture to reflect your own love for life. With brands like Sam Moore, Stanton, Stickley, Hilltop Hickory, Simply Amish, and many more, Naturewood Home Furnishings has tables, chairs, couches, and yes, nightstands, and more at their Made in USA sale. Find furniture that will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
The Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter right to your email. Get your latest on the Sacramento Kings, Athletics, and Republic FC with the Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter. Visit SacktownSports.com to join.
Whitey here for Napoleon Grills, reminding you that when buying a new grill, every detail matters. While supplies last, you'll receive a $149 gift with purchase on every new Napoleon Prestige stainless steel grill. The kit even includes a pizza lover starter kit and much more. And now up to $79 off Napoleon Rogue models. Napoleon grills are built different, built better, built to last, with a lifetime warranty and premium steel that boasts amazing quality. Visit Green Acres Nursery today for your best selection of Napoleon grills and accessories.
Did you know addiction to drugs like meth or cocaine is a disease and not a choice? But getting help is. If you have stimulant use disorder, you, your family, and friends may have a lot of questions, including where to start. Choose Change California can help. Make a change today and find a proven treatment option for you at choosechangeca.org.
This Memorial Day, forget the lawn chair. Roll up with horsepower instead, because Toyota's Summer Starts Here sales event is on. So you can gear up, gas up, and go with great deals. Score a low-cost lease on a 2025 Tacoma, or low financing, or an incredible $3,000 cash back on a 2025 Tundra. Plus, check out the all-new 2025 4Runner. Head to Toyota's Summer Starts Here sales event today. Toyota, let's go places. Offers available through TFS to buyers with premium rated credit. Cashback available through TMNA and cannot be combined with other offers. N6225.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
Right now, get a $15 gift card after rebate with the purchase of select AC Pro refrigerant products at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
1140. Very spirited Sacramento Kings discussion, the city of Sacramento discussion as well. Coming up in just a little bit, we got James Donaldson, played his high school ball here at Luther Burbank High School in Sacramento, started at Washington State, played in Seattle with the Clippers, Mavericks, Knicks, Jazz, and most recently was voted into the Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame. And James, I guess he's on, right? Sorry about that, Jay. I didn't see the thumbs up, big fella. James Donaldson joining us. James, what's up, man? You're on with Kyle and Jay. How are you?
Kyle and Jay, hey, man. I'm doing just great. How you guys doing today?
We're doing good. We're doing good. We're talking about our city, Sacramento, a city you're very fond of, obviously, from your time. And congratulations again on that Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame. The conversation we just had, James, was, does a basketball team need to reflect the city in which they play? For instance, Memphis with the grit and grind days, Detroit, bad boys basketball. We know what Philly, New York is all about. Do you think if we're trying to mirror our basketball team after Sacramento, what is that? And is that a necessity, do you think?
Wow, that's a good question. I guess it depends on what the identity of the city is. And I'm thinking about Sacramento already. And, you know, when I think about Sacramento, I of course, we all know it's the capital city. It's up in Northern California. You know, it's not LA. It's not San Francisco. So it's not Oakland, which had real distinct identities back in those days, especially. So I don't know. I think a team definitely reflects and represents the city that they play in. The town, the city is so proud of the team, and they really get out and support it no matter what, good days and bad days. Sacramento's been doing that for 30 plus years. So, you know, that's a hard question to answer because probably I don't really have a real distinct identity of Sacramento right now, of what it is other than the capital city.
That's interesting, James, because I think that's a lot of where we settled on, minus the fact that we are highly diverse, you know, in many different avenues and facets of our community and lifestyle. You know, you, of course, being from here, you've seen the differences of growing up here compared to where the city is now. Just before we get to the basketball mode, how has it changed throughout your lifetime?
Well, it is very diverse, especially now throughout the city. I grew up in South Sacramento, off of Florin Road, Meadowview Road, and those places. South Sac down at Luther Burbank High School.
That's right.
And we were in a very diverse neighborhood of sorts. I mean, all my childhood friends were, you know, Hispanic and white and Asian and black, and all of us are kind of growing up together. So we had a very diverse neighborhood, I thought. Of course, it didn't represent the other parts of Sacramento, which stayed pretty much lily white, especially in the north and the west side of it. But now things are very diverse, and that's progress. I mean, that's what we want to see throughout this country, throughout every major city, because that just brings that richness of diversity and the people intermingling with each other, getting to know each other better. It makes better for everybody when we have the diversity that we need.
James Donaldson joining us, Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame member, obviously an NBA veteran, played his high school ball at Luther Burbank High School. James, let's switch to today's NBA. How much have you been watching these playoffs, and what do you make of, you know, these so-called small markets, OKC and Indiana, being on the verge of playing in the finals here?
Isn't that something? It could be Sacramento one day.
Right,
it could have been Sacramento back in the 90s. You know, I think it's great. I think it's great for the NBA. I'm not the type to sit down and devote 3 hours to watching the basketball game like I used to, but I keep up with the highlights, and of course everything's on social media, reels and everything else, and the internet. So I watch and keep up with all of the sports that are going on. Small market is great, I think, for the NBA. It's been great for baseball. It's been great for the NFL and hockey. I mean, all the sports that have small market media centers benefit when those teams make it to the finals, because the attention finally is focused off the big major media markets, LA, New York especially, and onto the smaller ones. I mean, OKC is right there. Denver almost was there. So we had a lot of small market teams vying for this championship that's coming up. And I think the NBA is going to really benefit from it. And it needs to, because attendance has been dropping. The fanfare has been waning a little bit. People are getting tired of the old, long in the two superstars that we have, the LeBron Jameses, the Kevin Durant, and those guys. They've been around forever now. And I think they're ready for a new generation of young superstars coming up, and that's really going to whet the appetite.
That's interesting, James, because I think that was something me and Drake spoke about, is the new generation, the changing of the guard of some of these young guns who are entering their prime or young prime here, like the SGAs, Shai Gilgeous-Alexanders, and Tyrese Haliburtons. And so I find that super interesting. But I want to expand it a little more, because you had the opportunity to play overseas in Italy and Spain and other places like that. Your career, speaking of small market, those are not necessarily the A1 markets to, compared to playing in the NBA. How was your career overseas, and how did it help you develop, to play for, of course, playing in Italy, help play, set the stage for your NBA career?
Well, the fanfare is totally different overseas. I mean, they really, really get behind their teams in the cities, especially for soccer. I mean, soccer is a global, worldwide sport, and every European, country has a huge soccer following. Basketball is kind of a distant second, but if the basketball team is good and they have some really good American players come over and play, they really come out and they're fanatic. I mean, this is where that word comes from. They are fanatic about their teams and support them to no end. I loved playing over there. I mean, I played in the 80s and 90s overseas for 6 years total, 2 years in Spain, 2 years in Greece, 2 years in Italy. And those were some of the best countries for basketball back in those days. And we just had tremendous fan support, going for the European Cup titles, playing home and away with other countries back and forth. I wish that more players had a chance, the opportunity to do that. But, I was the same as all the rest of us, though. I was NBA or bust. I got over there my first year out of college. NBA or bust. I played my first year in Italy. Couldn't wait to come back and at least try the NBA, because I didn't know if I could make it or not in the NBA. And I got that chance to come back and try it with Seattle Supersonics, and that launched my NBA career for 14 years.
James Donaldson joining us. James, let's talk a little bit more about that, because you were drafted by the Sonics and then went overseas. How did that happen? What went into that decision? And obviously, you don't see that often these days now.
No, you don't. Back in those days, the teams, when they drafted you, they still had your rights. So you couldn't really go and try out for another team unless they released you or traded you or worked something out with that other team. They had your rights and they owned you. I got drafted when the Sonics won their one and only NBA World Championship back in 1979. Like back in the old biblical days, there was no room at the end when I got out of school. They were stacked from 1 through 12 with guaranteed contracts and world championship players. So they weren't going to make room for, a little wet behind the ear guy from Washington State like me. No matter how bad I wanted to play, no matter how good I was or thought I was. I mean, we had big guys like Jack Sikma and Lonnie Shelton and Dennis Autry. And I mean, guys who had proven and been there and done that and won championships. So I wasn't going to move any of those guys out. My agent, fortunately, talked me into my hard, nonsensical head saying, hey, James, if you go to Seattle and try out, you're just going to get cut. And then who knows what? Get overseas, put a good year of basketball in, let them see you, report back to the States on how good you're doing, come back next year. And that's what I did. Came back next year. The Sonics still owned my rights, tried out for them during training camp. Fortunately, it had an opening. Dennis Autry got injured. Jack Sikman needed a backup. And that became my role for those first year or two as a backup to Jack before I moved into the starting lineup with him my third year.
James, one of the following your Supersonics run, you had an opportunity to play for the Clippers, albeit it wasn't the LA Clippers yet. It was the San Diego Clippers. Take me back to playing in San Diego and then getting the word like, we're transitioning to Los Angeles. Where was your head at that time?
Well, San Diego at that time was kind of the Netherlands, the NBA. I mean, this is where guys went and their careers just died because the team was so good. The weather was so good, it's hard to get people in off the beaches of San Diego in to watch us at the sports arena. We get 4,000 or 5,000 people for a game, NBA game back in those days. People just didn't care about the Clippers in San Diego. But it was one of the most all-star studded teams I'd ever been on. I mean, I was playing with Bill Walton and Norm Nixon and Marcus Johnson was there, Craig Hodges, Jerome Whitehead. We had all-stars at every position, but we just couldn't win. We had no chemistry, and none of the guys really wanted to be there. And then we got the word we were moving to L.A., and, of course, we fell right into the shadow of the Los Angeles Lakers, playing over at USC at the sports arena, and still not drawing very well. But at least, we were, getting in the L.A. papers a little bit more as far as the Clippers and what they're doing. We couldn't compete with the Lakers, but it was a big, big deal, that crosstown rivalry that developed when they came to the sports arena and played, or we went to the Forum in Inglewood. Boy, those were big nights, and we were just trying so hard to just hang with them, not just to beat them, just hang with them. But hey, man, that was really the embryonic stages of my career, though, because now I'm playing full time. I'm a full-time starting center. I came down to back up Bill Walton. Bill was getting hurt and injured all the time, didn't really want to play, and so I played 82 games every year and put up some numbers, and the Dallas Mavericks took note, and I told my Clipper teammates, hey, man, I've died and gone to heaven. I think that it traded me to the Dallas Mavericks. I was off and running then.
Yeah, some great Mavericks teams. James Donaldson was a part of, made an all-star team as well back in 1998. I want to ask you about Bill Walton, though, the late, great Bill Walton, because in today's NBA, we see centers doing so much passing, shooting, Jokic, Sabonis. Was Bill sort of a ahead of his time when it comes to that, a pioneer when it comes to stuff like that?
He really was, because his basketball IQ was off the charts. I mean, this guy knew basketball. He knew how to get the guys open. He knew where to position them. I mean, you could run the offense through Bill, and he'd come down sometimes, and he'd be up at the point, and he'd kick it off to one of the guards and go down and set a screen or get in position or get us in position. I mean, I just marveled at the things that he showed me and taught me about basketball. Loved the game with a passion, which is why he became such a great announcer afterwards. He just loved the game with a passion. And it was too bad that, I didn't get a chance to play with him in his prime, but he patched himself together enough to make a run with the Boston Celtics and win another championship as a sixth man of the year, too.
Yeah.
That was good to see, a good way to see him go out. I was in touch with him up until the time he passed, even a month or so, and talked to him before then. And he told me he had some health issues. He wasn't feeling too good and all this, but he was going to beat it. And like everybody else, I was just shocked and saddened when he'd passed on. It was just so sad to see.
James, you are correcting me if I'm wrong. You're currently still in Seattle.
Right.
The Sacramento and Seattle definitely have ties due to Seattle, obviously, at one point in time, looking to be the replacement city for Sacramento. God be it didn't work, but you are still there, and the Sonics seem to be on the precipice of maybe returning back to Seattle, according to the NBA. What would basketball mean to Seattle? You get to walk the streets of Seattle every single day. Is it just a hole in the caveat of who the city is?
It has been. I mean, Seattle is blessed to have every single major sport up here except for the NBA right now. We got the WNBA, the Seahawks, the Mariners, the Sounders. We got them all up here. Hockey, the Kraken hockey. And so we've got every major sports franchise here except the NBA. And we've been missing them for 18 years. And they're, at the last count, about 42,000 active and raging Sonic fans who are just waiting for this team to come back. And they keep getting their heart broken every single year. Adam Silver comes out, throws a little crumb out and says, well, we're still in consideration. And it just tears the heart out of all of us because we're like, just say it. We're going to get one. And he just won't quite say it. The latest thing is the Board of Governors, the owners need to meet this summer and see what they come up with. And if they want to divvy the pie up a couple more slices for Las Vegas, apparently, and hopefully Seattle, the two oncoming exhibition or what do you call it? The teams that they're going to create. So
expansion teams, yeah.
Expansion, yes. So that's what we are all keeping our fingers and our bated breath about up here in Seattle. And I think when they come back, it's going to be a tremendous welcoming back to Seattle. They were here for 42 years. They've been gone for 18. Wow, it's a long ways. And a lot of these folks remember when I played in Seattle back in the late 70s, early 80s. And we've all grown up together. We're all retirees now. But you can bet we're going to make our way down to the arena and watch these newfound Sonics.
Yeah, can't wait till the NBA returns to Seattle. James, before I let you go, it's Mental Health Awareness Month. I had therapy earlier today, spoke with my therapist for an hour. I look at, athletes and their platforms, whether it's DeMar, Kevin Love. How important is it that not only athletes, but people in an everyday walk of life just talk about what's going on mentally and mental health?
Well, it is tremendously important, especially for men. I mean, this is my focus, along with our school-age kids, middle school and high school, which I go all over the state of Washington, talking to them about mental health awareness, suicide prevention. Men is my other focus group, that we all have to say, hey, I got a problem, or I need help. I need to reach out. But so many of us will not and don't do that. And so I'm always out there preaching. I tell the guys to say, hey, guys, look at me. I'm the biggest, bigger than life figure at 7'2", 340 pounds. I'm still a big old guy, and I will let my emotions show. I will let myself cry in front of folks, telling them about some of the mental health challenges I went through, to the point where I wanted to take my life back in 2018. Things had gotten that bad. But I reached out for help, and I got help. I got counseling. I got the prescription medication. I got a close-knit group of friends around me, half a dozen or so guys that were there for me throughout and still are there for me throughout. And so this is what we all need to do, because us guys we're such loners. We go off to the sports bar and have a drink by ourselves. We go gamble at the casino by ourselves. We do all these things by ourselves, and very few of us have a real close friend that we can just say, hey, man, I'm not feeling it today, and I need to lean on you, and please be there for me. So I'm encouraging all of us guys who listen tonight, please find that friend in your life and make sure that you keep them close and be there for each other.
James Donaldson, preaching to the choir right here. Great stuff as always, man. Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame, 1988 NBA All-Star.
Burbank Titan, Draper. Don't forget that. Burbank Titan, 3500 Floor Road, baby.
Gotta put some respect. All right, James, so we appreciate you, man. Thanks for jumping on with us.
Hey, man, you guys have a great day. Okay, keep it going now. We'll keep it going.
All right, James Donaldson joining the drive, guys, here on Sacktown Sports. Coming up next, OKC, they're in the NBA Finals. San Antonio, they're coming. How do the Kings keep pace and make up ground in the Western Conference? We'll ask you guys that coming up next here on the drive, guys. Sacktown Sports 1140.
Get ready for a summer of music, comedy, and thrills with the Sacktown Sports Live events calendar. Kick it off with punk legends The Damned at Ace of Spades May 31st. Then laugh it up with comedian Kathleen Madigan at Hard Rock Live Sacramento June 7th. Country fans, mark your calendars. Whitey Morgan and the 78s roll into town June 19th, followed by jam-packed June 21st. Tainted Love is at Ace of Spades. Lee Bryce and Walker Hayes are at Ironstone Amphitheater, and Penn and Teller are at Thunder Valley. Then it's 3 days of music and wine at the Country Summer Music Festival, June 27th through the 29th at the Sonoma County Fairgrounds. Don't miss the tradition and thrills of the Folsom Pro Rodeo, July 3rd through 5th, followed by country superstar Cody Johnson at Golden One Center, July 18th. August brings legends. Catch Rick Springfield August 1st and Parker McCollum at the Ironstone Amphitheater June 16th. Grab your tickets now and don't miss a beat. Only with Sacktown Sports.
At Valley Strong Credit Union, we know that local businesses are the backbone of the Central Valley, investing in our neighborhoods, boosting the economy, making the Valley stronger. But when it comes to their finances, where can they turn? A big bank that just sees another number? That's not good enough. Valley businesses deserve Valley support for payroll, credit, cash flow, and everything in between. Valley Business is Valley Strong. Learn how our cash management services can support your business at valleystrong.com.
Memorial Day savings explode at Maida's Elk Grove Chevy. Save $12,500 off MSRP after rebates. Every new 2025 Silverado Turbo Max in stock. And Maida Chevy has similar savings on every new Silverado. One of the largest selections of new Silverado in the Sacramento area. $12,500 off new Silverado. Exclusively at the Maida Chevy Silverado Supercenter. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Less than 2011, not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers.
Testing.
We are live from Chick-fil-A.
This is Grant.
And this is Laura.
And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is that sweet bun.
And that chicken filet was perfectly crispy and soft at the same time.
And that Smokehouse Barbecue sauce, it's a lot of fun. And the brown sugar bacon definitely had a little bit more pizzazz. Also, the Mac, one of the all-time greats. Man, I'm getting hungry.
Order the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich and a Coca-Cola on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item. Current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
Get in on the action at Sky River Casino. With over 80 table games, the hottest slot machines, and a thrilling high-limit room, you'll enjoy a casino experience on a whole new level. Just minutes from Sacramento, right off Highway 99 in Elk Grove. Join in the fun. Sky's the limit at Sky River Casino. Visit skyriver.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The Memorial Day Race to Savings is on. Get the best deals of the season at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? During the Memorial Day Race to Savings, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our number one priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
The Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter. Right to your email. Get your latest on the Sacramento Kings, UC Davis, and Sac State with the Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter. Visit sacktownsports.com to join.
At Napa, we've spent the last 100 years building our business into an engine that powers yours. Whether you're big or small, national or local, Napa has the automotive solutions your business needs to stay moving. And it's all driven by a nationwide network of quality parts and exceptional service on one mission: to keep your business moving full speed ahead. That's why we are the pros that know.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
People are coming from all over to Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, from Folsom, Elk Grove, Woodland, Roseville, because they've seen for themselves the huge selection and the best prices at SacSuperstore.com. Good luck finding a lower price anywhere else. And if you do, they'll match it. It's as simple as that. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where a handshake still means something. Open until 10 o'clock and centrally located right across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course. And online at SacSuperstore.com. The guaranteed lowest price and the best selection of Dodge, Chrysler, Jeeps, and Rams. SacSuperstore.com.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacramento's official home of the 49ers.
San Francisco.
Sacktown Sports 1140. Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
5 o'clock hour, Drapes and Jay. It's the Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports 1140. Final hour as the Pacers and Knicks are set to tip off. Pacers win. They advance to the NBA Finals to take on the Oklahoma City Thunder, who advanced by beating Minnesota last night in beatdown fashion, if you will. Wasn't even a close game. 124-94, SGA, 34 points, 8 assists. Julius Randle did have 24, Ant-Man 19, but too little, too late as the Thunder advanced to the NBA Finals for the first time since 2012. Pacers looking to do that, led by Tyrese Haliburton for the first time since 2000. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, our guy Lim Adams, Sacramento State wide receiver coach, quality control coach, will be joining us. But I wanted Jay to get into the current state of the Kings and where we go from here in what's sure to be a very difficult Western Conference for the next decade or so. We got OKC advancing to the NBA Finals. And I brought it up earlier in our 2 o'clock hour. Make sure you tune in right from the jump, 2 to 6 every day, about Oklahoma City and how they're not going anywhere anytime soon. They got Shea locked up. He's going to sign an extension, making him the highest paid player in the league coming up soon. Hartenstein is there for the next few years. Lou Dort is there. Isaiah Joe, Chet Holmgren, they're going to extend. Alex Caruso is there for a few years. You got J-Dub, Jalen Williams, all-star. He's going to be there. So they're not going anywhere. And they got 2 first-rounders this year and next year. And I think the year following. So they're not going anywhere. You got San Antonio lurking as well with Victor Wembanyama, Stephon Castle, De'Aaron Fox, Keldon Johnson, Vassell, Sohan. They're already, in my opinion, a contender in the West. And they get 2 lottery picks, the number 2 pick this year and the number 14. And when you got a guy like Victor Wembanyama also, he's going to be the face of the NBA, multiple-time All-Star, Defensive Player of the Year, MVP candidate. And so if you're Sacramento, how do you compete with these guys over the next 10 years or so? How do you make your mark in the Western Conference? And I'll pose this question to you, Kings fans, 916-339-1140. Are we okay not being at the top of the top right now because we understand how daunting it's going to be in the Western Conference? Is making the playoffs first round every year good enough? Maybe an occasional second round, maybe a 6 seed, a 5 seed, something like that. Is that good enough for Sacramento in this short term while OKC is rattling off Western Conference Finals? San Antonio's coming. Are we okay with being a perennial playoff team, maybe not a contender? Because that's where And if we're not, Jay, then how do we get to being a contender?
Can I ask what the time frame is when you say for the foreseeable
5 years?
Ooh.
5 years. You want me to give you 3? All right, I'm going to give you 3.
Okay.
Because then you're talking about Domas's contract, Zach's contract wrapping up towards the end of that.
So I have to be, let me put myself here, Kings fan. I have to be patient, be a middling and or bottom tier team for the next 3 years.
Yes.
Dang.
No, hold up.
Okay.
I take that back. Not middling or is 5 middling?
Well, it just depends because then you look on the other side of the East and, you might put 2, 3, 4 teams in front of you. So you might be 9 to, let's just say 10 to 20.
Overall in the league.
10 to 15.
Okay.
10 to 15. That's pretty close to being in the middle.
All right.
That's tough. But I'll say this. If that means for the next 3 years, I'm in the playoffs, I might come to the bargaining table, Drapes. With hope and excitement that after the 3 years, we don't take a step back. Like we don't to get the star or, continue the road of upward, not downward.
Right.
I don't want to have a downward spiral. I want to continue to move up. But if you're telling me for the next 3 years, I'm in the middle, but I'm having a postseason run or 2 or 3, and I have some hope post that, I might agree to it. Maybe.
The reason why I asked this, Jay, and who knows, injuries, things can happen. Look at Indiana. They were what? The 4th seed. Nobody was checking for them, really, for the NBA Finals. But yet, they got hot. They pulled off an upset. They beat the number 1 seed. If you're Sacramento and you're going against OKC, you're going against San Antonio when they're at their peak, and you make it to the first round, maybe the second round, but you're not going to get past them, let's say. The reason I bring this up, Jay, is I can make an argument that you don't have to blow this up or make major moves. I understand we won 40 games. Travis McDonald says, why are we even asking if we're okay with that? We're not even close. I beg to differ. I beg to differ.
We ain't close, Drapes.
He said we miles apart. I beg to differ. 40 wins, given everything that happened to this team, I could argue that's actually encouraging.
Ooh, really?
I could argue that at the end of the season, when you look back and considering firing your coach, trading away your best player, injuries, first-time head coach, GM, assistant GM leaves, GM on his way out after the season. He knew it. I could make the argument that this team might have overachieved.
What?
I'm making the argument, Jay, because here's why. And I'm not saying 40 wins is anything. But when you look at the landscape of the NBA, and somebody on the YouTube chat said, can we just move to the Eastern Conference, our guy Connor Bell? And I feel you on that, Connor. I feel you on that. We had 40 wins, Jay. 40 wins in the East gets you the 8th seed.
Damn.
44 wins gets you the 6th seed. So, given a new coach, fire and trading, you can't tell me if we had stability, we couldn't win 4, 5, 6, 7 more games.
Well, we west of the Mississippi, so give me the west. Give me the west. Give me the, you and who said Mr. Bell? How about you give me
Connor
the
Bell.
Yeah, Connor Bell. Shouts out to Connor. How about you give me the Western Hemisphere
So 49
okay.
was the 6th seed.
All right.
Minnesota was 9 games better.
Yeah, 49. 50 games.
50 games. Not saying we would have won that.
Sure.
But we could have won 5 more. Same position maybe, but the feeling is different. You're above 500. You don't think so? You don't agree with that?
Oh, no. Because the standings tell you one thing versus, we played above 500 ball. But I think you can use the rah-rah of, we were above 500. We were a winning ball club, and bring the rah-rah out of it and hopefully build on that.
But that's only 2 wins. That's only 2 more wins, Jay. And I guess what I'm saying is we fired a head coach. We traded away. There was dysfunction, internal dysfunction among the coaching staff, front office, and you still won 40 games. And so if I'm Sacramento and I look at the next 3 years, and I know the YouTube guy said, why are we even talking about this? I'm here to tell you that maybe, just maybe, things weren't as bad as they seem to be. If I told you the Kings finished 40-42 before the season, be disappointed.
Oh, yeah.
But then if I told you during that time we fired the coach, traded away De'Aaron Fox, assistant GM left, brought in 5 new players. Now I can see why we won 40 games.
Yeah, I'd say, man, the house was coming down.
The house was coming down.
On fire.
And we still won 40 games. Still finished ahead of Dallas. Still finished ahead of Phoenix. Now, Phoenix, they should be panicking. They should be like, we got to blow it up or whatever. But given that OKC is going to be great for the next 5 to 10 years, San Antonio is challenging for a 4 seed, 5 seed, 6 seed. The worst thing that could happen to Sacramento in the next 3 years? I might be taking that right now, Jay.
And you settling.
Nah.
That's not the type of Draper I know. To settle? You gonna settle for the middle of the NBA? The no-go zone? That's the no-go zone in the league. We know that.
I'm not settling. What I'm doing is I'm building winning habits.
I like how you spun that.
You like? I'm building meaningful basketball game in March and April.
Right.
For all the people that want to tank, if we're trying to build a culture here, that ain't the way to do it.
Nah.
And so I'm thinking, all right, as Sacramento Kings fans, I want to win every game. We're putting our best foot forward. It may not be 55 wins, but we're building something. I'm looking at a team like the Denver Nuggets. They pretty much have done that. They're challenging every year.
Yeah.
And then,
the last 5-6 years. Yep.
I'm looking at Miami,
but
and
they got one.
But they got one.
They got them one.
But they got him a chip. But they also got their guy with a 2nd round pick.
Yeah, very true.
So
very true.
You can still be good and make good. The Celtics never really tanked. They had one bad season.
True.
And then they started building and things got better and then they tweaked it.
But Drapes, we not even in that position yet. Like that's what
Jay, we just have 40 wins.
But isn't that what the Kings fans are saying? We don't want to be a middle of the pack team with no hope for the future. I hear what I don't think you're saying that, but that's the devil's advocate to it, right? That's where no team wants to be, is in the middle of the league, because you don't get the high draft pick and you're consistently working around the edges. I'm not sure they can withstand the next 5 years being a middle of the pack team.
You talking about
the Kings?
But that's our problem. Because we trade Tyrese Haliburton because we want to fast track the win now.
Yeah.
And so I suggest you got first round picks coming up.
You do.
You got first round. It ain't like
ton of them.
Yeah, it ain't like your cupboards are bare. Why not build something? And so what I'm hearing from people, 916 Drapes, I appreciate what you're trying to do, man, but we are garbage, bro, and there's no way around it.
Dang.
That's not true.
Right.
That is not true. And so I feel like the narrative and the feeling of the season was take away the record.
Mm-hmm.
The trading of De'Aaron Fox, the fire, it felt worse than what the record actually indicates.
The numbers. When you compute the numbers aren't as bad as the feeling.
You tell me all that happened?
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's 33 wins.
27.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, go ahead, Jay.
But Drapes, real quick, that person from the 916, they equate garbage to being the middle of the NBA. Because the Kings are in the middle of the NBA right now, and they've been in the middle in the NBA as of late. Am I foolish in thinking that Kings fans are tired and their patience is wore thin to the point of, I feel like since the early 2000s team minus the Beam team run, the team for the most part, majority, if we look at all the records, they've been close to the playoffs a handful of times. They've been a 39, 40, 41, 42 type caliber team, albeit some of the numbers don't show that, 35 wins, things like that. But that's the middle of the pack. And I think Kings fans are equating the middle of the pack as being, we're trash, because the middle of the pack in sports rarely gets you anywhere. It's spinning tires in the mud. So that's why I'm asking you, and I mean, you've answered it, and I think I know where you're going with it, but I flip it back to you and say, do you believe Kings fans, because I think you said, or either Whitey, I can't remember, this might be, I think it was Whitey, this might be the most upheaval I've seen in the Kings kingdom in a long time. Like, fans are fed up. I've had it. I can't do it no more. And of course we say that as fans. You throw your hands in the air, man, I ain't doing this no more. The next week you're watching the game again, right? That's part of being a fan.
Right.
But do you believe the fans can hold on for another 3 years and say, man, we, as the 916, man, we garbage?
But the alternative is being worse than garbage.
Being Washington
Wizards. Being the Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
And so I believe there's value in being middle of the pack. And I'm talking, whew. And let me say this, Jay. When I look at the standings from this season, Detroit was a middle of the pack team. 44 wins. That's 4 more wins. They didn't have the upheaval and the turmoil that we had. That's considered a successful season for them.
Yeah.
And so,
because of where they've come from.
Let's not forget, Kings, where we've come from.
Yeah.
Minus the one season, 48 wins.
But don't you have to say Detroit they're on the uptick. They're on the upswing. Doesn't it feel that way for Detroit? All their guys are younger. They've went through the 10 years of, man, what in the hell? What are we doing? Where the Kings have always kind of, what are we doing? But we've never just bottom out. Well, not never, but we rarely bottom out. where Detroit has bottomed out multiple times, multiple seasons. And now this is their time. Like, oh, we paid our dues. We've been the druthers of the NBA. We've been the bottom tiered. The catfish, the catfish
at the bottom
of the NBA. Yeah. And now we're up. We got Cade. We got Thompson. We got the young gun. We got Ivy. We got Beef Stew. It's our time.
Here's what I'm saying, and people are upset at me on the text line 707. Drapes, what are you on? Stop trying to promote garbage. 916. It's incredible that two smart men can't do the mental processing to recognize that the dysfunction you all speak of didn't happen to us. It was internal. It was internal. Yeah, internal. You guys act like the Kings are victims of natural disasters. It was arson, fools. But here's the thing.
I mean, I don't think we don't have an opinion on that. But yeah,
right.
I got
But let's say it was arson. Let's say it was internal.
Yeah.
What happens after arson? You get your insurance check and you start to rebuild. And so
that's true.
I feel like the rebuild started to happen at the trade deadline.
Ooh.
With Zach.
Right.
You bringing in JV, Jake Laavia. And so we really only got 25 games or so to see this iteration of the Sacramento Kings. It didn't end well. I get that. But that doesn't mean there's not something there. It doesn't. And I'm not talking about being the number one seed. I'm talking about being relevant when it comes to basketball for the next 3 years. Being, if you will, as I look at the standings, the Clippers. First round, 7-game series with the Denver Nuggets. I take that.
For the next 3 years.
I take that.
Okay.
That's 3 years of making the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not challenging for the championship, but yes.
Okay.
And what you hope as an organization, what you do as you're making the playoff push is you tweak, you add, maybe you make a trade here or there. But to just bottom out, dog, we've been bottoming out for 20 years outside of 1 year.
Yeah, we've been on the bottom.
Damn, can we at least get a 3-year stretch of playing meaningful basketball?
So these 3 years haven't been meaningful? Beam team and 2?
This last year wasn't. Like, the second year of the beam team, okay.
Yeah,
if we would have backed it up and actually snuck into the playoffs and got in
this year,
then that would be a solid 3-year stretch. This year, as the texter said, was just arson. It wasn't a natural disaster. We burned the house down.
It's a full gamut of things because the 5-3-0, we might be garbage, air quotes, but I'm just happy we still have our team. Are people really back to taking that for granted? Man, we are a diverse community, bro, when it comes to how fans see this team and organization. I mean, literally within 5 minutes, we've seen a point at the finger of the organization, someone who's just excited to even be able to have the opportunity to go to the game. And then at the same time, why drapes you out your mind? It just welcome to the Kings Kingdom, Drapes.
Yeah.
King's life, brother.
916. If we get a good point guard and one more good rim protector, we'll be a much better team next year, given what we went through this year. Can we at least say, Kings fans, and I got my boy Lim Adams of Sac State coming up next. Can we at least say, from a coaching standpoint, continuity should help this team?
Absolutely.
That should give us 2 to 3 more wins.
I hope.
At least.
I'm hoping.
I mean, Jay, I know. The coaching staff was in shambles. Let's call it like it is.
You're 100% right.
And so just stability right there should make it a better product, a better team. We're going to continue this tomorrow, man. We got plenty of time this offseason.
All summer, baby.
We got all summer. Coming up next, our boy, Lim Adams, Sac State wide receiver coach, quality control coordinator with Sac State football.
All right, well,
My good friends at American Energy, as a native Sacramentan, you need to know that it might be nice right now, but turn the corner and oh my God, it's so hot. Yeah, summer is coming. And my friends at American Energy want to make sure you are dialed with your AC unit. So how about this half off tune-up right now? It's a special going on, just $24.50 to get your air conditioner tuned up. A free diagnostic. And oh, by the way, if you need a new AC unit, up to $3,500 in rebates on qualifying system installations. That's right. They've been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Give them a call, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Here's the song.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Whitey here for Napoleon Grills, reminding you that when buying a new grill, every detail matters. While supplies last, you'll receive a $149 gift with purchase on every new Napoleon Prestige stainless steel grill. The kit even includes a pizza lover starter kit and much more. And now up to $79 off Napoleon Rogue models. Napoleon grills are built different, built better, built to last, with a lifetime warranty and premium steel that boasts amazing quality. Visit Green Acres Nursery today for your best selection of Napoleon grills and accessories.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. SubcontractorsUnited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
At Valley Strong Credit Union, we know that local businesses are the backbone of the Central Valley, investing in our neighborhoods, boosting the economy, making the Valley stronger. But when it comes to their finances, where can they turn? A big bank that just sees another number? That's not good enough. Valley businesses deserve Valley support for payroll, credit, cash flow, and everything in between. Valley Business is Valley Strong. Learn how our cash management services can support your business at valleystrong.com.
This Memorial Day, grab the keys to a new ride during Toyota's Summer Starts Here sales event. Right now, get a low-cost lease on the 2025 Prius. Sleek, efficient, and with impressive MPG, it's perfect for long weekend road trips or the daily hustle and bustle. Or shop great deals on 17 Toyota hybrid models from the longest-lasting brand on the road. Plus, every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, a 2-year complimentary scheduled maintenance plan. Toyota's Summer Starts Here sales event ends soon. Toyota, let's go places. Offer available through TFS to buyers with premium rated credit. Offers end 6/2/25.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
The sneak come out at night. 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 The sneak come out at night.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Man, we're going to jump right into this thing right now here on the Drive, guys. I ain't going to waste no time, man. I'm feeling a little salty about this next guest. My boy, Lim Adams. He's an offensive quality control coordinator, assistant wide receiver coach with our Sac State sports football team. Lim, I don't know, man. I don't even know what to do. Because, first of all, I'm proud of you, man. I'm on the Sac State website right now, and I'm looking at the football coaches, and it got everybody listed. I'm like, okay. Yeah. I see Coach Brennan Marion right there. You know, I see Kenneth Merchant, offensive. I see, and then I scroll down. My boy Lim Adams, he done came up. Moving up like the Jeffersons, man. Congratulations. How are you?
Oh man, I'm good, man. What's up with my guys, man?
I don't know, man. Jay booked you. I didn't have any say because I'm salty, bro.
He's salty, man. He upset, bro, that you had to upgrade yourself. Not like you needed to upgrade yourself, but you had the opportunity to upgrade yourself, and now he feels like you left him. You left behind. He's a scorn lover.
Nah, Jay, you already know, man.
Did we lose?
Oh, we might have lost you.
See,
Hold on,
he on
man.
that 3G still. Yeah, Sac State ain't got that Wi-Fi over there, Lim. Hopefully we get Lim back and nice here and clean here. Here's the thing. Lim used to be my personal trainer before he leveled up. Got the job with Coach Brennan Marion over at Sac State. I'm happy for him.
Am I back?
Yeah, I got you. You hear, Lim? You got me? Nah, man. Lim got that 3G. You got me, Lim? Lim, you there?
We can see you, brother.
We can see you moving, but can you hear us, Lim? Anyway, let me explain it to the people. For about 4 or 5 months, Lim was training me at his little gym right behind the studio. I was going a couple times a week, getting in the best shape of my life, working hard. I was posting Instagram videos. Didn't do the shirt off. I wasn't that svelte. But I was feeling good about myself. I was thinking, all right, working out with Lim twice a week. He's putting me through the boot camp style workouts. And then Lim got the job with Sac State. And while I'm happy for him, that meant he couldn't train me anymore. So your boy done fell off. When it comes to the season, we eating good on the road, on the charter plane and at the hotels. And so Lim leaves, my workouts decrease, and my food intake increases. And so I'm a little salty that my guy Lim left me. And you can see the fruits of my labor. And Lim joining us. You on the phone with us, Lim?
Man, yeah, I'm here, man. You know, my Wi-Fi ain't the best up in here.
Man, you better tell Brendan and them to pony up for the 5G or something, bro. Man.
Nah, they good. We good.
First of all, man, I was just telling the people the story of how you helped transform me, got me in shape, was feeling good. Then the season came, you did your thing with Sac State. My workouts decreased, my food intake increased. And so I need to get back there. You still do some training though. I see.
Man, come on, man.
No. But Jay, I gotta put him on blast. Lim does a women's group every 2 or 3 times a week, 4:30 a.m.
Yes,
So
sir.
he got time to do that.
Yep.
But not take care of your boy Drapes.
Hey, Jay, just tell Drapes he got to show up at 4 o'clock, man. I'm gonna make it work. you know, Coach Marion got us in the office, man. 5 o'clock, 5:30. We trying to be great, so we don't got no time to be wasting.
Man, see what I'm saying? Look, and I just saw, Lim, that you guys are getting an ESPN game yet again. Another year being nationally televised. Sac State moving into the proper direction, man. Just talk about it. We haven't had the opportunity to have you on since the upgrade of Sac State. Just Coach Marion, you pushing over there, the whole movement of Sac State right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, Coach Marion, to me, I mean, first of all, he's a great man. He's a great leader, and he's just hired a great staff, man. So we've just really kind of followed his lead, so to speak, and now we just moving in the right direction, man. He has a lot of energy. He expects a lot from not only his players but his coaches. And I mean, when he wants something to get done, he gets it done. So his goal for us and vision for us was obviously to play big time football in a city that, I mean, is where the fans is gonna love it. And I mean, he's just putting together the best type of talent, bringing the best talent to Sacramento. I mean, I'm just happy to be part of it. I mean, it's just a blessing for me.
Lim, you guys had the spring game not too long ago, and from everything I hear, it was like a movie out there. Just talk to me about the vibes surrounding the program right now.
Yeah, I think for me, since I've been part of what Coach Brennan Marion is doing is I mean, he's just creating an environment where, A, you can be yourself. you gotta work hard, and you gotta be able to create your own energy. And just his presence, from his swagger to his approach to the game and his go-go offense itself. I mean, people are just excited about what he's bringing, and then they see the movement. I mean, they see, things around the campus getting done. They see the relationship that him and Dr. Wood have. And it's just been great. So you can't help but want to be part of it. If you're not excited about what you see in the city and what Sacramento State is going to be doing this year, it's just one of those things where you got to really hop on board, because, Coach Brennan always talks about, winning with us or just watching us win. And I think that's a big thing, not just for the players, but also just for the city. It's kind of like, hop on board, support it, support the movement, be excited about the movement, because, we're going to win. We're going to win, and we're going to win a lot. So just that alone has created a different vibe and a different energy for the city, especially within our locker room. So it's exciting.
Joined by Lim Adams, of course, offensive quality control wide receiver coach. I just say wide receiver coach. You could put the assistant on the proper title. But Lim, one of the things, if people have not been introduced to who you are, of course, Drape's talk about, you helping him out, assisting his struggle and his work ethic and what he's done over the last couple of years, last year or so here in Sacramento. Man, you've put on for many, many years here in Sacramento. This is just your opportunity to take it to the next step. But you've been training college athletes, high school athletes, not only in football and hoop and baseball, so many different facets here in Sacramento, man. How does it really feel as you talk about Sac State and the movement that's going on with Dr. Woods and hoop and Mike Bibby? You've been intertwined in the sports world here throughout the whole city. What's that overall feeling for you?
I mean, it's just great. I mean, that was a big thing when Coach Brennan Marion took the job here in Sacramento. When he offered me the job and was like, hey, Lim, I need you to be part of what we're doing. I mean, I didn't even hesitate. And the reason why I didn't hesitate is because, this is definitely a city that's been good to me and my family, right? Has watched us grow and supported us. And now, we like to say that Sac State, being mixed in right with the Sacramento Kings in that same city, we want to bring that same energy and excitement. So for me, it was kind of like a no-brainer. It was one of those things where I was just like super excited, and to not only give back to obviously the community, but now being able to give back to the athletes within this community on a greater stage, right? We got guys coming from Florida, Texas. Brendan Marion's brought so many guys that are now being acclimated to what this city offers. And I'm just excited to be part of it, man. It's one of those things where, I've grown in this city, training and developing athletes and stuff like that, and growing our business and the Game Fit brand. Now I want to be part of, helping continue to grow the tradition and just being part of some at Sac State and being part of that football team. So I'm excited, man. I'm just grateful. I feel blessed. I'm just excited to get going.
Our boy Lim Adams joining us. Lim, Jay brought it up, and got to give you your flowers. I know you work with a lot of young athletes coming up. One guy you did work with, Cam Scattaboo, fourth round pick of the Giants. Just how proud are you when you see somebody that you've worked with, somebody locally here, have their dreams realized in the NFL? When Cameron was even younger, it's just setting those goals. He was one of those kids that was doubted, played at Rio Linda, where some might have thought that the quality of football, the level in which he played wasn't high. But the thing about it is, even though maybe some of the teams that they played against weren't best, you just knew Cameron was different. The way he led his team, the way the guys around him played harder. So, not only was he, creating success for himself and standing out himself, he was able to bring people along from him. So I'm super excited because I know how hard he worked. So even though he was doubted when he went to Sac State, and then even when, I was with that process with him when he was going to Arizona State, and people kept telling me, man, he's not going to be able to do it at this level. He's not going to be able to do it at that level. And I'm like, nah, he's going to be better. He's going to be better at that level, because now at that upper level, now you're able to be utilized a little bit different. They're going to make sure you use your skill set
And that's what he did, man. So I'm happy for him and his family. Obviously, we've known each other for a very, very long time, but I'm happy for the city. It's always a blessing to come back to the city that you played high school in Pop Warner and come back and do great things. And I'm just happy to be part of it, man. But, he had to put in the work and stuff like that. We're just fortunate that, he allowed, myself and the Game Fit brand to be part of that. So now he's reached his goals, man. So, I love people reaching their goals and being part of that process. So, I'm just excited for him and excited for his family. He's going to do great things in the NFL. It's not going to be any surprise to me.
Yeah, go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, no, it's you speak about the Game Fit family, man, and we've all been a part of it. And that's the coldest part about it is if you've come through Sacramento within the last 10, 15 years, and forgive me for not knowing the specific years, you've definitely tapped in with Lim. You've definitely went over to Game Fit. You've definitely had a cousin, a nephew, a sister, someone that's came over there, and it's on all different levels from professional to, the novice, the beginner. One of the interesting things Drake started this whole thing out with, not being able to come over and shake their hands and dap up Lim anymore.
Right.
So what happens to Game Fit, fam? What do we do now? Where do we go from here?
Oh man, really, the brand is gonna keep moving. I'm not there a lot, obviously because God has kind of shifted my time elsewhere. He wants me to continue to be impactful in a different mode. But I'm always, if you're gonna be there for y'all, you're always gonna find me there at 4:00.
You're gonna be there by yourself and the young ladies, man. That's early.
Hey, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there cleaning, sweeping, doing something, man, just to make sure that the brand and it keeps moving. I got great employees and great trainers and great developers that have kind of, took the reins, so to speak, for the most part. But I'm still around. I'm still accessible somewhat. But you guys got to catch a game for sure. You guys got to come by.
Oh, 100.
You got to, man. You got to come by and meet Coach Marion and the staff and the team. But I want to see the same energy and the same handshaking that the people and the families and the parents and the kids and the athletes have had coming through Game Fit. I want them I want them showing up at the games and giving that same support. That's the thing, man. It's all about, growing as a person, as what you're trying to accomplish. I have goals for myself, just like I had and I still have with Game Fit. But now I just have them in a different mode and a different arena, so to speak. But I know I'm rocking with the right guy and Coach Marion and what he's trying to do for the city. So I'm 100% locked in. So it's gonna be great, man. It's gonna be great.
All right, Lim Adams of Sac State football. They kick off the season August 30th at South Dakota State. First home game September 13th against Mercyhurst. I know what Lim's about to do. Lim sits in the sauna for about 45 minutes every night. I know you still do that, big dog. So I'm gonna let you run out there.
Hey, it's already preheating, baby. It's already preheating.
All right, baby. We'll see you soon, Lim.
Hey, man, I appreciate you guys. God bless, and you guys have a great night, man. Love y'all, boys.
All right, Lim Adams, Sacramento State football, joining us here on The Drive, guys. We put a bow on this show. Coming up next here is The Drive, guys, Sacktown Sports, 1140.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-961-5544. 800-961-5544.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number Everything Smart Bed sale. Every smart bed and base are on sale during our Memorial Day event. Up to 50% off, plus free home delivery. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway. Because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Hey everyone, it's Kyle Draper here. If you're in the market for a new car, let me tell you about my experience with Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the moment I walked into their state-of-the-art showroom, I knew I was making the right choice. There was no pressure from the sales staff, and if I'm being honest, I felt like a kid in a candy store. I settled on the all-electric EQS SUV, and let me tell you why. First of all, the comfort. After a long day at work, I actually look forward to being in my car. It has several different massage settings, including my favorite, hot relaxing back. Plus, the seat heating and cooling features are perfect for the hot summer or those chilly mornings. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. They're just a short drive down I-5, or you can shop online anytime at mbofstockton.com. That's mbofstockton.com, and tell them Drape sent you.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Final segment here, Sacktown Sports 1140. The Drive Guys, Drapes and Jay here. Got the game up on the tube right now. Karl Anthony Towns and the Knicks up 46-34 over the Indiana Pacers. Knicks on a 12-2 run, looking to keep their season alive. They're down 3-1 in the series. Is this series over, though, Jay? Can the Knicks come back? They got tonight. You think they could come back, or it's over?
They come back.
Damn, really?
They come back. Yeah, well, the only reason I'm saying that is because I took the Knicks to win the championship. Yeah. So I got to believe. I got to stand on it. I got the Knicks, baby, in 7.
What's crazy about this, as OG Anunoby makes the bucket, if the Knicks win tonight, pressure gets on Indiana.
Pacers.
Now they got to win Game 6 at home.
Right. Hey, the Knicks got a shot.
They got a shot. And what's crazy, like Tyrese Haliburton is the hot thing right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's all in.
If they don't win it, though,
it'd be an ultimate collapse.
Right. Does he fall down? Like, does he, I got him behind Luka and SGA as who I'm. If they lose, blow a 3-1 lead, is that a reflection on him?
I mean, unfortunately, because he's the face of the franchise, it will be. But I also think, coming into this season, even coming into the playoffs, nobody was, I won't say nobody because there's always someone, but there weren't a lot of people who thought Indiana would represent the East.
Right.
So you have to give them a little grace, a little grace to the point of saying, hey, we'll be looking for you next year.
Right.
You got through this year because Tatum was gone.
Right.
Or, people, no Dame with Giannis, people will create some narratives, but I think I won't say come out of nowhere because they've already been there once.
Yeah.
But I don't think people were pinpointing them to be the Eastern Conference champion. So it's more like, oh, man, they're a team to watch out for now moving forward.
Right. Okay. Looking at the text line, I'm going to address this one real quick. 916. We burnt our own house down. It starts with Vivek. And until our local station has the intestinal fortitude to call that out, we will be stuck in purgatory. So he's saying we're responsible?
Dude, I ain't no billionaire.
For turning around the franchise?
Let me tell you something. Who was that? 916, man, they crazier than all outdoors. Because I'm going to tell you like this. When it comes to whose fault it is, we could point the narrative at 26 different people. Mm-hmm. You choose who you want to choose. I choose who I want to choose. When it's really all said and done, it's like I always say, there's 3 sides to the story. Your story, my story, and somewhere in there lies the reality and the truth. Mm-hmm. Perception is reality. Shouts out to the 916. That's what he believes. What do you want me to do? I ain't no billionaire. I don't control it. I don't work for the Kings in the front office. I'm not in the basketball ops. I don't have a say-so. I'm not voting on the voting. I'm not on the board of directors. Really though,
it's 100% true.
How much?
No matter what I say,
don't matter.
It ain't going to change anything.
Nah.
And here's the thing, 916.
We can give our opinions though.
But this is what I don't like. And I know it's the medium that we're in.
Sure.
They text in. Don't leave no name.
No doubt.
Ain't calling in. Ain't jumping on the YouTube stream. Nothing. Just some anonymous text.
Well, it ain't. Well,
trying to be like, till you guys start doing it, until you have the intestinal fortitude to put your name on the damn text. It's Twitter fingers, but for sports talk radio, Jay.
I hear you.
I'm sorry. I'm upset.
No. I hear you.
Intestinal fortitude.
I hear you. Well, the thing is, it becomes this. I think, and this is part of it, and this is where I'm using the word grace again. That's my word here.
Word today,
this segment. I give the grace to the 916 in the form of they're a fan, obviously. Mm-hmm. They're definitely a fan. They are a fan who wants to be informed, and that's what we do. We inform. That's what elevates us a little higher is we have the connects. We get the press releases. We're in certain spots that other people aren't, and we can inform people and give them food for thought. With that being said, there's always a limit to what's going on, Drapes. And that's where you're talking about, well, put your name on it.
Right.
Because the one thing about it is we're here every day. Well, you sometime, but you know what I
mean. You're right. No, but you're right. Our takes are out there.
For sure.
We talk every day.
Ain't no one hiding.
Ain't nobody ducking no smoke.
Never.
We're talking about it every single day. And so he got me a little fired up. What you got going on tonight, man? Any softball games?
Man. No. I'm chilling, man. I'm a geared up. So when I go see Kendrick Lamar here in
you hopping on the plane?
Yeah, man. I'm on my Draper movement.
When you going to Chicago, right?
Chi-town.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay. All right.
We're gonna slide out there, touch on little Heralds.
So let me ask you real quick.
Soldier Field, my first time ever going to Soldier Field.
Oh, really?
Have you been to Soldier?
I've not been to Soldier.
Not myself.
Yeah, you're gonna have to let me know. So the kids are in the concert now. They're there. Early on in the concert, I heard wasn't sold out, empty arenas and all that.
Who said that? Who said that? You sound like the 916.
So I'm just saying, when you go to Chicago,
okay,
I need a report. The kid's going to give me a report on how it was, and I'll let you know.
They got the VIP tickets. They there before the general public, the doors are even
That's
open
true.
yet.
They out there.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Early.
Mom's got them on the wharf bright and early, man. Matter of fact, they got the Draper tickets. They came through the back door, park where the players park.
Well, their last name is Draper.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah, they use that last name. All right, we out of here. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for all the guests for jumping on. We're back tomorrow at 2 o'clock. It's the Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports, 1140. Coming up next, Golf to Go. We'll see you tomorrow.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Bundle Deal Days at AutoZone.
Well, I